All right. Guess I'm live. I'm live. I'm live. What's up, folks? Let me see if it's. I gotta figure out. Let me see something. We live. We live. Here we go. Yeah, we good. We good. All right. Sound is good. Everything is good. I guess. Uh. Ooh. Quick response. Everything is nice. Everything is flavorful. Oh, I'm back, folks. I'm back. I'm back from this little vacation. I really didn't announce it. It was oh no, I think I did. If I didn't, I was on this I left I was on this little vacation with the family. Went down to Southern California, Anaheim, to the happiest place on earth. Which is Disneyland. Um and we'll get into that. We'll get into that some more. Yeah, but that's and all the things that happened out there. It was really fun. It's the first time ever I ever went to Disneyland. And whoa, that that place is ill. And people tell me Disney World is crazier. I can't imagine I can't imagine that. Like they said, it's bigger than Disneyland. Disney World is bigger than Disneyland. So yeah, and it was my first time going, and of course, my wife she's from California, so she told me she's gone a couple of times. I think two times, maybe three. I don't remember. But it was my first time going, and my daughter's first time going. My youngest, she's 4. And you can see in that thumbnail, I got my goofy hat on, and she has her. My daughter has her. She has her Pluto hat on, and yeah, man, like there was a funny story behind that too. But we were having the time of our lives. Um, yeah, this beats out any theme park I've ever been to. I'm sorry about Legoland. Legoland was cool, but Disneyland is just it's got to be like top tier. It's probably for as long as it's been around, for what it is, it's very clean. It's very well kept. Like what I mean by it's clean. Ain't no gum on the ground. Ain't no gum on the ground. They must power wash it. They must have a level of maintenance that's crazy. I think the whole time, I guess because it's this is one of the things that when you own a business and you've been self-employed for so long, you have this thought of cost. You have a thought of cost, like what does this cost? What's this cost? You know, that's what I'm plagued with. That's what I'm plagued with as a person that's been working for himself for 22 years, maybe 23 years. Um, in my mind, I'm just thinking about what the cost of this was, and just to maintain it, and to maintain a place like this, there was probably like of how big this place was. It was only two places I saw there that had chip paint. You see where my mind is going? Like my mind is my mind is thinking like paint, chipped paint. That's and it was like two or three places, but this place was just how clean it was. I didn't feel grossed out touching anything. That's was crazy. The amount of people that were there, I didn't feel grossed out touching anything. That's crazy to feel like that. But like everybody's touching everything, right? I guess that's part of like what's happening with us because of COVID. But that place is crazy. It and it's it's if you are an artist, if you are a artist, let's just say like this. This is that just say the clean and the upkeeping. That's great, right? There's different levels of germaphobe. So there's a germaphobe listening to this, and they're probably at the highest level of germophobia, whatever this shit is called. You're you, you're gonna listen to me and like, well, you don't know what you're talking about. All right, cool. But as an artist, right? And I'm not the highest level of artistry, but just let's just say as an artist, right? How we understand form and color and composition and all these different things that you we use as tools to draw in potential clients. This place is artistically thought out. Disneyland is artistically thought out. There's things that fooled me. Like I'm walking and I'm like, oh, I know that's a fake wall right there, but the second glance, the third glance, the fifth, the 10th glance, studying it, forced perspective, these little things that we take for granted every day, but to have it put in front of you and then you want to take a picture in front of it, their puppetry, their animatronics, their lighting, the rides themselves, what you're sitting in. Oh my God. It's beautiful to look at. It's beautiful to look at. I'm not looking at it as a consumer. You know what I'm saying? Like I like when I hear people critique Disneyland and Disney World or just Disney in general, I'm like, what's the credentials? What's it hot? What do you find that you don't like about it? Right now, now, anybody that's joining in right now, I'm a person that I've just been listening to what people say about Disneyland all the time, right? At Disney World or just Disney itself, and yeah, trust me, man. Yes, just people. It's an evil empire, blah blah blah. Yeah, he supported the Nazi move, blah blah blah. I don't care about none of that right now. What I'm talking about is just the artistic presentation of a place like that. It's made me look at everything that I'm in right now, like what my studio looks like, how my tattoos are being presented to people. It's got me wanting to just do a whole new cosmetic, you know, redesign of everything because this is just the highest level of presentation. Hey, look, this is gonna go on for a while. This is gonna be like probably a 2, 3 hour, 4 hour rant of Disneyland. It's gonna go in and out. It's gonna go in and out. It's gonna go blah 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 all over the place. But I'm gonna be drawing. Yes, I got this little. I got my frame going. I'm gonna be drawing. I might just do an octopus today. I'm gonna do an octopus. I might do an octopus, or something. Like if you're watching this right now and you're in the chat in YouTube, hit the like button. And if you have a request, hit me with a request. Like if whatever you want me to draw, I'll draw it right now, just off the strength. But yeah, this was what time are you in the studio today? I'm here now. I'm here now. Um uh I was just man, sorry, brain fart. I was really thoroughly impressed by just the artistic production presentation of a thing called Disney World. Sorry about that, the microphone. Sorry. Um I was thoroughly impressed by like how they presented everything, how everything was laid out. You know, it's just those things like that like, you know, a person that does art, that draws pictures, that colors. I had to give them props on that, man. I had to give Disney props on that. Um, as a creator, if you are a creator and a guy like Walt Disney who created something, right? An artist that created something. And again, look. I don't care about his personal politics, right? I don't. I'm not here to. I'm not here to hyper analyze his background or how he was raised or who his family was. I'm only talking about what I saw this past week when I was in Disneyland, from how everything was laid out from a bird's eye view, right? How everything was mapped out, the app that they have for Disneyland. Uh man. Uh You get what I'm saying? Like these little things like that make something like that move very fluidly, right? For everybody to use. Hey yo, man, trying to get on a ride out there was nuts. Everything was like a 20-minute wait. The Star Wars section I didn't even go to because Star Wars was like for like it was like an hour to 2 hour and a half, 2.5 hours waiting time just for Star Wars, man. I didn't have my Jedi. I didn't have my Jedi robe on. I didn't dress like a Jedi. Next time I go, I'm dressing like a Jedi. I'm gonna have my lightsaber. I'm gonna have my cloak. You know what I'm saying? I got a I'm gonna have my lime green lightsaber. I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna have my Jedi garb on, boots and all that. You know what I'm saying? My wife is not gonna want to walk next to me. You know what I'm saying? My daughter's gonna be all about it. I'm gonna bring my other two kids too. My three kids, myself and my wife, and we're gonna go Disneyland next year. And I'm a straight Jedi. I'm gonna be in my Jedi outfit. Um, but I had fun. 44 years old, first time going to Disneyland, and it was fire. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Really, that's really all I can really say. I loved it, and I want to go again. I want to go again. Um, back to just how artistically how everything was upkept. There was no like when you look at the machinery, when you look at the rides, everything was nice and clean. Everything is kept up nice. For the wear and tear that these machines are going through, they open every day. Holy, they've got to have the best engineers working there. It has to be like in-house. They got to have like their own maintenance. They can't outsource anything. They got to have like a separate place where they're like making their own machinery. For a place as big as Disney, they can't take any chances. They can't take any chances. They got to be paying. Look, I looked up how many people they employ. They employ 35,000 people. 35,388 people. Just Disneyland alone. And the resort. Fuck. 35,388 people. I think they pull in like $50 million a day. Hey, yo, for a place that looked that good, that's what you're paying for. You can't go to Disneyland and haggle. When you start doing the numbers, on a place like that, you can't haggle. You can't say, "Oh, I could go buy it somewhere else for cheap." Hey, yo, that's why the place looks so good. As a business person, as a person that's been working for himself, like I said before, for 20 something years, I got an ink business that's only 6 or 7 years old. The cost on certain things, a place like that cost. And this is going to go into tattooing. This is going to go into tattooing too. If you are a person that collects tattoo and a tattooer gives you a price, it's a cost. There's a cost behind it. You go to cheap, you get cheap results. You get what I'm saying? Go to them parks where when you watch on YouTube, you see a machine falling apart. That's that means they went the cheap route. So cheap means you're playing with your life. Expensive means you have a greater chance of surviving. Shit. And that's what Disneyland is. That's what Disney World is. And this is what I witnessed this past week when I went to Disneyland. Is this place is built superbly, and I've never heard anybody really say this. And I'm not. This is not a. Nobody paid me at Disneyland to say this. I went there for the first time in my life at 44 years old. You see the picture. I'm having the time of my life. That's my straight face, and it looks like I'm smiling. But I had the time of my life in Disneyland, yo. It was crazy. It was. Hold on one second. Let me get some water. Let me shake the screen a little bit so it don't die on me. Oh. Feel me? So, you know what? I'm gonna do a dragon. Yeah, so um it's cost. It's cost. Respect the cost. Respect the cost. Respect of what this cost. What this cost of what goes into a creative process, even like what Disneyland is, or Disney World, or whatever. I go. I get it, man. I get it. It's too much. You feel like you get a cheaper deal. You get a better deal. Blah blah blah. Ooh ooh. Yeah, I get it. But what I saw at Disneyland inspired me in the sense of presentation and what it's very thought out. That place is thought out, very nice. It all started with one man that created this mouse. Walt Disney, his company is 100 years old, yo. It's 100 years old. You can't, you can't get that far being cheap. You can't. Hey, yo, I am thoroughly impressed by the people that have contributed to this empire, to this business. I'm when I gotta say, yo, this shit is dope. I'm 44. My daughter was having the time of her life, man. Just this is my wife was having fun. She got something messed up her eye, and one eye, her right eye got like some dust in it or something. She had to take some medication, and it took the swelling down. And then the next day after that, she got a cyst in the left eye, and it was just like, oh man, I wish it never happened, because that, when your vision is messing with you, binocular vision is messing with you, it's hard to see, it's hard to do things, it bothers you. And but she persevered through it. She didn't let it get her down, and we just had fun. We had fun. And all I could just think of just is, this place is bugged out, man. This place, Disneyland, is just different. Disneyland is just different, man. And if you're an artist, go there, man. Just go there and just look at the art. The place is a wonder of art. It's a if you're an artist and you're into what's the kind of art where they show, it's like it's not performative art. This is like what is that art? I can't remember what it is, man. It's like It's like what Warhol would do. He had like a soapbox or whatever. This guy, I mean, Walt Disney, all he did was just, I'm gonna draw a mouse and blah blah blah, make some cartoons and blah blah blah, and then grew to make an amusement park, and it just grew from there. All right, it's anyway the mistake to compare by price. You're not only paying experience and quality of a tattoo. This is just the basic. Every tattoo should be able to give to his customer. You're paying a developed style. Yes, you're paying a developed style. That's almost like what Disneyland is, or whatever anybody puts out there. That's what it is. I get it, but I also get where a person is just a consumer. So if you live a 9 to 5 and you blah 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 ooh right, and now when somebody gives you a price on something, you say, yo, maybe I could get it for cheaper. I I get why you're doing that, right? But what does cheap mean? It's not made at the highest quality. It's made cheaper, and then they're selling it. It's not like it's off the. It's you see, a lot of people are mixing up. It fell off the truck, or with it's made cheaper. You get what I'm saying? I got it cheap. See, when it's off the truck, it means that this guy got it off the truck. It's hot. He ain't gonna. If he got off the truck, the TV might go for 5,000, but he might sell it for 2,000. He made a $3,000 profit, or for nothing. That's where that comes from. So I'm not gonna say, yo, Sony made this $3,000 TV, but I'm gonna go to this other store and think that they're gonna give me. No, they're not. It doesn't work that way. And even tattooing is like the same way. This person, I've seen people do it. I've put my own drawings out, and I see somebody else. I put my own drawings out. I put my own tattoos out, and I've seen somebody take my tattoo or my drawing and go to another tattooer who they feel comfortable going with. All right, yeah. And I said to myself, well, why did he go to that person because they're cheaper? I found their price out, and the guy's not cheaper. So then what is it? Is he white? Maybe he feels comfortable that, you know what, the black guy drew it really good, so I'm just gonna go to a white guy because I feel comfortable with a white hand touching me than the black hand touching me. Maybe it's that. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. I just put it out there in the universe. You saw my artwork, but you felt comfortable going with somebody else. It could be that too, but can I control that? No. All I can control is what I do, and then somebody comes and gets it. That's my thing is like, I'm gambling in the universe like that. I'll do 1,000 joins and 500 people come to me. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. It's a half and half type of thing. I'm gonna have 500 no's. I'm gonna have 500 yeses. It's and then it's also a number thing, right? So I'm one of the only black dudes that do large scale stuff. So I'm going up against a bunch of other motherfuckers that do it, and not that they're black, but they're white and they're Asian and they're some type of Spanish, Hispanic descent. So I'm in a pool that I know my odds. I know my odds, right? So it's not that it might be. I might do 1,000 drawings. I might get 200 yeses and 800 no's, but the 200 I could, whatever. I see. I understand the numbers game. You get what I'm saying? But to see what I saw at Disneyland, that shit was crazy. That It was such an inspiring thing. Like, yo, this dude went up against the odds back 100 years ago. 100 years ago, he went up against the odds and succeeded. And look at what people complain about. Yes, 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 yes. People like to look at their past and say, oh, yeah, they did this, they did that. That's how it was 100 years ago. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was 100 years ago. Yo, but getting on the rides, they were smooth. Nothing was rickety. The food was good. They had drinks. The drinks were good. The performances. These people are performing every day, yo. Yo. Yes, and I know the pay is terrible, but a lot of these people love doing it. They love doing it. They grew up on Disney. Some of them know what comes with this shit. But the cost and upkeep, I get it. Maybe the CEOs don't need to get paid that much. But I can imagine, can I imagine what they have to go through, the decisions they gotta make? I couldn't handle no shit like that. You have to have a different type of mindset to do that type of job because you need to upkeep something like that. You can't lowball on a business like that that deals with millions of people's lives yearly. Yo, that place is ill. But I'm so inspired by it. I'm so inspired by it. I'm really, really, really inspired by Disneyland. You know, really inspired by Disneyland. Really, like what the whoa, like Walt Disney said, yo, he and I wonder, you know, this guy can draw. This thing, see, the thing is too about Walt Disney, he can draw. So he drew something. He drew something, and you know, maybe got the backing to do it. You know, I don't know how he got his money. I don't know how, you know, like blah blah blah. But you know, but he worked. He most likely had to work in an industry where it was new. He had to work at a different company and build himself up, and then he saved his money, and then and got and just went from there. I don't know the process of how he did it, but just to say that, yo, he created one character and lost it, and they said, I'm gonna make another character. He came out with Oswald. He was working on another project. I think it was Annie or something Annie and something cat, and it got stale. So he made his own character, which was another character which he made was Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Lost and Oswald got popular. He had to redesign them. Had to redesign Oswald and redesigned them a couple of times. Lost them to, I don't know if it was Universal, whatever, whoever that company was at the time. And said, I'm gonna make something else because guess what? Everybody else is making cat. Everybody else is making cats. I'm gonna make a mouse. Turn into Mickey Mouse. Love Tattoo 1,000 years. What up? And from there, that was it. Mickey Mouse was born in 1927, I think, or something like that. When before Mickey Mouse happened, him and his brother did Oswald. What up? What up? What up? Love Tattoo 1,000. How you doing? Or 10,000? You all right? How you doing? You can hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Well, I I don't speak in English. Oh, I sorry.
You sound good. You sound good. All good. All good. All good. All good.
Oh, thanks. Uh, wait me 1 minute. I uh sorry. With me.
Take your time. Ivy, Bruce, how you doing, Ivy? Oh, did he freeze? Oh, he froze. I lost him.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I can hear you.
So you look 一下这个，我 I can I don't speak English.
Okay.
Oh, so I
Where you from?
I'm from China.
What's up? Love China.
You love China.
Mm-hmm.
If you love China, we are good friends. Good friends.
Yeah.
Uh,
I want to come visit.
sorry. 我哪个城市？我在安徽合肥啊。
Hold on. Let me 1 second.
Okay, this will be.
What part of China?
Sorry, sir. I 我不知道怎么关闭。
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Oh man, where's my other phone? Let me translate. Damn. Squids do rule, man. They're scary. They're so cool. I think that's what their superpower is. One of their superpowers. They have a look of like such cool curiosity. That's how they eat you. Oh my god, they look so cute. Oh, you don't know, man. You gotta eat. As they say, the streets gotta eat. And in this instance, the sea gotta eat. This thing is not looking at you like, yo, look at how cool this surface dweller. What is this thing with four legs? Wait, is it edible? Skin is pretty soft. Yeah, I think this thing is edible. Oh, thank you for your tattoo, which interprets the spirit of Chinese culture. I think your tattoo is very meaningful, not only about also Chinese people. I think they will love it. Yeah, man, I want to come out to China. Please let you know. I'd love to come out to China. Let's do some cool tattoos. Oh, and one of the things is about Disney. Like one of the things about Disneyland is like, yo, it. I mean, like I remember reading like it was self sufficient. They grow their own food. They do their own this. Um, I'd love to visit. I'm gonna DM you. Love tattoos. Let's chat. Hey yo, fat. Look, that's another thing too, man. Like that's another thing about Disney. Like, oh, Chris, I just came back from Disneyland and I'm sapped the cash. But as soon as I get that, I'll send you the deposit. I saw your DM. Um, so don't think I'm not gonna do it. I am gonna do it. I gotta get the funds together. So this week when I tattoo and stuff like that, I think I'm tattooing today and tomorrow. So I'll send you. I should send you the cash. We'll say Tuesday, Friday. By Friday. Yeah, Chris, I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I just came back from Anaheim. Whoa, Disneyland is ill, man. So what I was saying before, folks, I'm thoroughly impressed by Disneyland. I'm just artistically, the animatronics, the lighting. They even had certain parts where it's like it was the Monsters Inc. It was like the monster. It not. I don't think it was all the rides, but like there were certain parts of like certain rides. They had smells. So if you went through a certain room, it smelled a certain way. So it made it even a little bit more interactive, you know? So I know Disney's been doing that for a while. I know Disney was. It's my first time going, so I'm geeking out about it. It's my first time going. So I like stuff like that to the point where it's like now I'm just like maybe I should. I'm like looking at my studio. I'm like, how do I make my studio even more not interactive but more presentable, more because it's not a bad setup. I got a couch over here, rug, table, you know what I mean, like the artwork, but it's you know, it's a different industry, so it's like I can't really expect to be doing Disney numbers and stuff, but it was just inspiring to see just that type of level of like artistry that goes into it, maintenance and efficiency. Like that place, if there was a level, if efficiency of a business was a picture, it would be Disneyland. That's kind of what I'm saying. They can't afford to get sued. I mean, broke people that are out there. Everybody's trying to get a lick. So they can't, you know what I was saying before, everybody, you know, like I get why people always try to get like a deal on stuff, but you dope as Disney, you know, attention to detail. Dude, the attention to detail is so on point. Chris, that's what I was saying before. The attention to detail. Imagineer is pretty dope at Disney and like the attention to detail to that place is amazing. It's like things aren't just laid out there. Like a lot of people, like when you're walking into that place, it's not just like, oh, we're gonna put this here, put that there. No, they did that for a reason. They did it so like when you're walking through, you're not caught up. You're not caught up. You're not fumbling and stumbling. You're not you're not bouncing off the walls. There was times where I was just like, what the? I know that these are fake brick walls, yeah, but the sound, the color, the the what I mean by sound, I'm not talking the music, but I'm just saying the sound of like even the way the roller coasters are positioned, they did that. There's science behind it. That's an artistic mathematical equation. I love that. I love that. I didn't understand how like art and science and math really plays part, but that's what that is. Hey, look, folks, look. I know we don't really think about where our clothes is made. You know, who designed that cup that puts your coffee in it? Who designed your car? Who designed your socks? Who designed your underwear? That's an artist. An artist did this. Somebody with some type of artistic talent that has to say, all right, how does this fit your body really well? Hey, yo, look, don't take these little things you do daily for granted. There's an artist that put their time and their mind power into this. You don't live in this world where it's just cool to walk down and everything is cool, hunky dory. It's not there just because it's there. No, there's this artistic talent that went behind it. And when you go to a place like Disneyland or Disney World, I just came back from Disneyland. Yo, that's an artistic endeavor. What you're seeing is just like next level. They said, all right, how do we turn a ride? How do we turn a movie into a ride? That's what they did. Disney's all designed in California. Dude, I was saying to myself, Chris, what I was saying to myself is they gotta have a maintenance team that's in-house. There's no way that Disney is. outsourcing all of that. The amount of people that ride those, that are on those rides daily, they open up every day. They say daily they make $50 million, $30 to $50 million a day. Do the math on that, folks. 300, they take 2 days off, New Year's and whatever. So it's 363 days, not 65 days, 363 days. 363 days times 50, let's say $50 million. That's what they're making. The upkeep on that stuff, it's not no rickety dickety theme park that opens up once a year. No, this thing is every day. The paint job on this stuff, is different type of paint, gloss, because it's people are touching this, it's bumping, it people's clothes is bumping into it. A woman's fancy bag or some dude's fancy belt buckle is hitting this thing, so it's not chipping right away. Yo, can you imagine that type of shit? Dude, it, the roller coasters, the Ferris wheel, the merry-go-round, the lighting, the animatronics, the color. Oh my god, the color was amazing. The color was amazing. It's like, yo, what the? I was in it. Yo, shout outs to that are all custom interference, and one might understand the big role if he has a fuck around with his understand that interference. Yes, I kind of get what you're saying, dude. I didn't even do that, man. Yo, there was you know how long the Star Wars ride was, bro? The day we got there on opening day, the second day we got there opening day, dude. People were rushing to the Star Wars. It takes you about 5 to 10 minutes to walk up to where the Star Wars was. Dude, you could look on the app and it started going up 5-minute wait, 30-minute wait, 1 hour, 2.5 hours. Bro. It's artistically amazing what that place is. It's amazing. It's amazing what. Yeah, look, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. You know, one of the things I really despise about the average person that don't have no artistic talent, that all they do is overread everything. The motherfuckers that just read too much. There's a thing called reading too much. And all some people do is just read all day long. Right? And they make their mind overwork them. Hey, look, when you start saying like the whoever built the pyramids and they want to say aliens built it, yo, do not minimize the human mind and human will to say some outside sources, aliens did it. You're slapping yourself in the face as a human being, saying that you can't accomplish greatness or great things by building great things. Aliens didn't do that shit. Yeah. It was slaves, but that is human design. A human design that aligns with the stars and the planets. 200 to 1,000 years from now, I could, if there's somebody saying that aliens built Disneyland, I'm gonna rise from my grave like Alter Beast and slap a motherfucker in the face, because it's the human mind that thought it was an artist that did that shit. It was an artist. These imagine it. Yo, it's to see that. I'm not talking. This is a person this is a person that draws, does color. I'm hitting people with needles all day long. I'm drawing on a tablet right now and I'm ranting and shit. Hey yo, that place is ill. Just as a person that draws and understands composition and color, yo, the Imagineers is amazing. It's just a great thing to. I'm glad I got to see it before I passed away as before I'm an old man. I'm glad to see that shit. The attention to detail, as you said, Chris. That shit was amazing to see. Yo, that shit is amazing to see. Yo, that shit was that. Wow, wow, wow. That shit was amazing to see. Shout out to the artist, man. Shout out to the creative force. Hey, yo, your car is designed by an artist, man. It's designed by that seatbelt, the handles. You know what I'm saying? Your toilet paper. It was designed by artists. Them patterns on your toilet paper, but artists did that. It wasn't the machine. Somebody had to put their input into the machine to do that. Every time you wipe your butthole, think of an artist that designed that. I had to put it out there. I just want people to understand what goes into things these days. It doesn't just appear like it's magic. It doesn't. It doesn't just appear out of nowhere and you just go into the store, swipe a card, you take it home. Yo, somebody designed it. Yeah, there's marketing behind it. Goes, yeah. Yeah, I understand that. I'm talking about the process of imagination and input. Yo, wow. I enjoyed Disneyland just for that. I enjoyed Disneyland just for that. If Disneyland is kind of like a rolling museum. It's like the Guggenheim, but you can ride these. You could ride all these things. You can get on it. You pay a little bit more money. Blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? That shit was crazy. My girl was telling me, "Oh, you think this is crazy? Disney World is bigger." Oh my! I can't imagine what Disney World is. I can't imagine what Disney World is. Fuck. Oh my god. I'm taking my kids there next year, man. Like, yo, I want somebody to say, "Hey, yo, Dre, can you do this cheaper?" I'm gonna be like, "Yo, you must take me for an idiot." Dude, I can imagine what they did with Tron. Dude, man, look, I can imagine. Chris, I could just, I want to see it. That joint tapped my pockets. Disney World tapped my pockets, folks. Tap my pockets. But you got kids. Hey, it's funny too. I saw dates. I didn't think, I didn't think like I saw older people that like, oh, I got this lady who was on the bus and she's like, I got what's it, something season passes. She goes every day. Or she goes like once a week or or something like that. Older woman, you know, that's her thing. All she does is just go to Disney World. I mean Disneyland once a week. You know, because it's in the neighborhood. Another thing too, it's not like you're driving out of. I think Disneyland done spoiled me. You never catching me in no regular carnival ever again. I'm sorry. I don't trust none of them rides. I don't trust none of them joints. Them things where you see them shits, where you see their Ferris wheel fall or their merry-go-round tip top over. Nah, I'm not going on none of them rides no more. I'm sorry. Disneyland spoiled me, man. It's like Disneyland is like Kobe beef. You know what I'm saying? Rack of lamb, prime cut. You know, sirloin steak. You can't go back. You can't go back to no regular burger after you had some, unless it's some top shelf chef that's doing it for you. That's what Disneyland is. It's just top shelf presentation of a ride system. I'm not playing with my life anymore. I'm not. I'm after this past week. I'm not playing with my life anymore. You ain't catching me on no regular shmegula theme park. Nah, B, I'm good. I'm one of them type of people. I'm one of them type of people, man. I'm serious. I'm one of them type of people, yo. Oh man, I'm one of them, man. I'm one of them. My first car was a BMW. It was hard driving another car after that. I was like, I need to get either a BMW or better. I'm one of them type of. I'm sorry, I'm one of them type of people. It's like tattooing. After you do, it's like doing it's like doing a back piece. After doing one back piece and finishing it and just seeing it, that person walking around. You know what I'm saying? Their back fully done. Their arms are done. And only dudes that do back pieces know what I'm talking about. That feeling like, yo, I gotta do another one, and then you do another one. You got two on your under your belt. You got two back pieces done. Maybe you got I got three bodysuits done. Now I want to do a fourth. I want to do a fifth. I'm already thinking about 10, 15, 20. That's how I am. It's hard to go back. It's hard. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. It's like it's like so why it's like that. It's hard. It's hard to say, yo, I want to just do small tattoos. I could do small tattoos, but it's hard to go back after I've done how many back pieces and I'm finished them over 60. I've done 60 back pieces and they're done, fully done. Oh, it's hard to go back. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. This is the different type of drug. I'm high. I'm an addict for doing backs. It's like that's what happened to me when I went to Disneyland. How am I going to go to a regular schmegular? You know what? I'm going to be in a fight with my wife. So, well, you can't go. I'm like, I already went to Disneyland. What? I can't. You can't. How you going to top that? I went to the Guggenheim. You know what the Guggenheim did to me? All right, I gotta go to. After I went to the Guggenheim in New York, what's better than the Guggenheim? I went from the Natural History Museum to the Guggenheim. Just how they present it. It's how they make you feel when you see this. Because I'm looking at art differently from most people. I'm looking at what it goes into doing this thing. How do they design cars, that engine? You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at it like that. I'm looking at it as like I'm looking at it as the hand. Hey, it's the riddle of steel. Anybody in here knows the riddle of steel? Anybody in here know the riddle of steel? What's the riddle of steel if you're watching this right now? If you're on my Instagram, if you're on YouTube right now watching me, what's the answer to the riddle of steel? Anybody know? Anybody know the riddle of steel? The answer to the riddle of steel? Anybody in here know the answer to the riddle of steel? That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what this is. That's what it is. Is when you are a human being that makes something from scratch. That's it, B. Now make another one. 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 Complete another one. Do another one. Just keep going and keep going and keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Oh my God. And then you see it and you see everything that you've done and you hate it. Imagine when you do everything you do and you hate it because guess what? You know you can do better. Oh my God. Yo, if you're not ready to be an artist, leave, man. Because because it gets crazy. It gets crazy. It gets you to a place of let me stop. Let me stop. Hey, yo. Dinkins, Giuliani, Bloomberg. Thank you for making those messed up laws. It kept me inside. It kept me inside, yo. It kept me inside. It kept me inside to the point where right now, turn me into something different, B. Because once I figured out something that I love doing, if you're a tattooer and you hate that you just a hater and you like, hey, fuck him, don't be mad at me. You know who you got to be mad at? Be mad at Giuliani. Be mad at Bloomberg. You know what I'm saying? Them stop and frisk laws kept me inside. It made me have appreciation for art. It gave me an appreciation of art and my life and the creative process of life. Yo. They didn't know when they were making these laws, did they really think about who is going to affect, even on the microscopic level? You know what I'm saying? Did Walt Disney understand who he was going to affect 100 years from now, or throughout his whole company's lifestyle? Who he's going to affect? Yo, man, that place is inspiring as an artist. It's next level. Now I know there's gonna be people that listen to this. Why you talking about Walt Disney? I just came back from Disneyland. Yeah, but Walt Disney. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about that. I'm talking about the artistic. I'm talking about the artistic level of present, or just the artistic level of thought, thinking about what you want to do, on paper and not knowing how far this thing is gonna go. At one point, it had to be the crescendo. It's and this got me in. It got me into tears, man. It got me in tears when I saw this. It's a light show on the water, on top of the water, where the Ferris wheel is. It's a big Mickey Mouse face. Yo, I'm telling you something. The color, that's another thing too, man. The color, it's all that. Again, what I was saying, it's all thought out. These are supposed to be like this. So when I was in the Ferris wheel, I'm looking down at the water. I'm like, oh, what's those round things in the water? Right? What's those round things in the water? Come back later on in the day. We're there just in time. We're just waltzing over there, and they're just doing 100. It's the last light show before. It's because they're celebrating 100 years of Disney this year. This is the 100th year of Disney, right? So they're basically in this light show on the water, Like I'm saying, I gotta say this computer. You mumble a little bit. All right, on the water, in front of the Ferris wheel, they do this light show, and they're shooting water up in the air. And they're projecting everything that Disney ever did for the last 100 years. It's the craziest shit. Two creators other than Walt Disney who I really look up to is George Lucas. And they showed Star Wars. And I was like, yo, and I started soon as the Star Wars theme came on. You know what I'm talking about? Yo, I was like, yo, my daughter's on my shoulders, and I was just like, my girl's standing to my left of me, and I said, this is crazy. Because it's two of the guys that created something just as dope as Walt Disney, and it's George Lucas is one of them. It's Star Wars. And I know people complaining. Oh yeah, you want to complain about what George Lucas did? His movie sucked. You do it. You do it. You go out there and create something with a storyline and characters and all this shit. None of you motherfuckers is doing shit like George Lucas did. But you complain and cry. Write something then, yo. Go out and write. And create. But if you ain't doing it, shut up. Shut up. Do you know what it goes into doing some shit like that? He went against the grain. He went in debt. He was broke. He was in the red, George Lucas. And he gave y'all Star Wars 1, 2, and 3 when they came out. Yo, that shit had me. It's the creative processes of an artist that just is so dope. It's so dope what George Lucas did. Can't none of you motherfuckers say shit. Go out there. Go draw something. Go in debt. Go to the bank and ask for a loan. See how hard it is to get a loan from a bank to put out your creation and then hope people like it. This dude did it. Then when the Marvel shit came on, that's Stan Lee. Spider-Man, Thor, Hulk, Doctor Strange. I cried for 2 days straight when Stan Lee died. Because that was my childhood. He was older than all them guys. Not he wasn't older than Walt Disney, but he's older than George Lucas. But when Stan Lee died, he died. John Romito just died. I was crying too. Neil Adams died. I was crying. I'm like, yo, these are the guys I read their comic books. Joe Kubert died. Yo, The guys that I looked up to when I was a little kid passed away. It just it's and Jim Stan Lee made Spider-Man, yo. Oh my God. To see that at Disneyland. Hey yo, you George Lucas is lucky he sold to Disney, because if he sold to Warner Brothers, it would have been dismantled and people would have been buying up all different. Luckily, he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna go to Disney and sell to Disney, because at least it's gonna stay at Disney, and you're gonna have fans making movies." Yeah, I know people ain't happy with where it's going and there's all this going on, but George Lucas wrote so much, but he didn't have the money to put it out. That's another thing, people. You don't understand cost of production and making things. You don't understand it. All you do is consume. Most people just consume and think it's cool, and then make their own little blah blah blah. But if you were a creator, do you know how expensive it is to put things out? But George Lucas wrote a lot of books. He wrote all these characters that you're watching on TV right now. He wrote them. The Mandalorians, it's all in his. He wrote them out. A lot of y'all just don't read. You only watch the main things, but you didn't read. You didn't read the smaller books that came out. The comic books. George Lucas he had a hand in that thing. After those, he was putting out content, but a lot of people just didn't buy it, because a lot of people just they don't read comic books. They're not into sci-fi. Or what goes behind what goes behind the production. The behind the scenes shit is all the good stuff. But a lot of people don't know about that. Being in that park made me really appreciate what goes into this. It made me understand that the average person doesn't understand what goes into this. I'd gladly give y'all my money, because I create. I'm low end creative process. I ain't like Walt Disney World, or what George Lucas did, or Star what Marvel Comics did. I'm not like that. I'm low level. I'm trying to make it. Right. I'm trying to pay you see that little thumbnail of that girl that's right there? I'm trying to pay bills. I'm trying to I'm working so I can survive, so my daughter can have a future, right? And be part of the American process. That's it. That shit was amazing, man. Yeah, I see y'all crying about Marvel and Star Wars and blah blah blah. Y'all don't know, man. Shut up. You never read them comic books. I had to let go of all that stuff in the comic books and be like, yo, it's not like this, it's not like that, but because it's a different angle. It's a different angle. But what Lucas did, what George Lucas did, what Jim Lee, not Jim Lee, what Stan Lee created, they helped me. They helped me with that creative process to just want to just draw. I didn't get to go into comic books like I wanted to, but I started doing tattoos. And you know what? I'm glad people say no to some of my work. I'm glad that y'all go to someone else. I'm glad you go to someone else, and it turns out great, or it turns out terrible. I'm glad that when people come to me, they see my work and they go take it to somebody else, and it turns out terrible. I love it. because you were ruled by your prejudiced eyes. I'm so happy when it turns out terrible. You have the energy to go online, find my artwork, and then go to someone else to get it done. And when it turns out terrible, you're still following me. My wife is just came in here. She's like, "Why is he talking like this?" My husband is so childish. But babe, I'm only talking about the what we saw, or what we saw at Disneyland, and how I was just she could tell you I was just I was I was blown away. I was blown away. I was blown away. Let's finish this up. Hey yo, man, that shout out to George Lucas, man. Shout out to George Lucas. Shout out to Stan Lee. Shout out to Walt Disney. You know? Yeah, I don't want to hear gripes about what Walt Disney did. I know he sided with the Axis power. I know he helped fund the Nazi party. I get it. Yeah, I know. But Disneyland was fire. Disneyland was fire. Oh, snap. Disneyland was fire. Disneyland was fire. I'm sorry. Y'all ain't canceling that joint. Y'all ain't canceling him. You know? So if you're gonna try and cancel me for what I said, go cancel him first. Yes, but customers, I've seen people coming into shops with fresh, pretty good tattoos made by other artists, suddenly struggling if those works are good or not. Look, I'm a struggle. It's fine. They could go somewhere else and get it done, and it's gonna turn out good. Like I said, I'm glad when it turns out good, and I'm glad when it turns out bad. That's look. I had a guy come to me one time. It was like a few years ago, and I thought he was trolling me. I think he was. He was. He might have been really indecisive and really worried about what I can do. And I think maybe he wanted me to coddle him. Maybe he wanted me to coddle him, but I just didn't have time. I don't have time to coddle. I really have time to produce. And I'll tell people this. I give you my I give you my real undivided. I can tell when somebody is serious. I've been doing this long enough that I can tell when somebody's serious about getting tattooed by me, right? A serious attitude person that wants to get tattooed. I'm not gonna say how they are, right? Because then people will try to imitate that, right? But I know, and I know this guy wasn't really fully serious, and he went to somebody else, and I'm glad he went to somebody else. I'm glad he went to somebody else. And the tattoo. I suggested he wanted to give me the scrap arm. I said, yo, let me get that arm. All you got is one tattoo here. What you're looking for, I'll do it, but let me get this arm. No, he didn't want to give me the nice good arm. He wanted to give me he wanted to give me the scrap arm. He wanted to give me the bullshit arm, right? It's like a chick that, you know what it is? It's gonna and this is something I've seen ever since I was a little kid. It's like people, it's like, you know what? And it might be something that, like, It might it's it's like a person that has been living a promiscuous life their whole life, and they're so toxic that when they do settle down, they want to settle down with the real nice person and treat that nice person like shit. You get what I'm saying? They've been toxic their whole life. And then when they do decide to get down, they do decide to settle down, they settle down with a nice person and they treat that nice person like shit. And I knew that's what was going to happen to me. That arm that's trash, that has all the trash work, he wanted me to work around it and make it look good. And that's not me. You might think that's what, when you see me and you see this, when you see me, you think that's what I am. Maybe because that's what you grew up around and that's what your parents taught you to look at a person not like me, and you think, oh yeah, I'm gonna give him the trash arm to work on, and I'm gonna go to guy, and I'm gonna go to this guy over here, and he's gonna get the. I'm gonna give him the nice arm. You know what I'm saying? And that's not me. Don't look at me like that. That's the thing. You can look at me like that, but I'm not gonna tell you don't look at me like that. You can look at me like that, but that's not what I am. That's not what I am. You get what I'm saying? That's not what I am. I was raised I was raised with a family that had morals and that morals. They had taste. My family has taste. My mom's side of the family has taste. They're artisans. They're farmers. You know what I'm saying? Tailors, seamstress. You know what I'm saying? Woodworkers. That's what my family. That's what I come from. I come from that. So I have a particular taste. So when you come at me and you're gonna give me the shit to work around, I'll easily just say no. But let me refrain that. You could come at me with and help, but don't come at me with the shitty attitude. Don't come at me with the don't co- treat me like you would treat your mother or your father. That's the thing. I went to Disneyland like, yo, I'm gonna treat Disneyland like I would treat my mother or my father. That's how I went to Disneyland. I didn't go to Disneyland like a penny pincher. I went there like an artist. Like, yo, what's whoa? What was that? I have seen people with a collection of good works on their bodies and suddenly got really bad, crappy tattoos. It's like customers almost can't value. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The guy had some good work, but then and the thing is, why I gave him some advice beforehand, and he didn't listen to me. He went to someone, and the guy gave him a shitty tattoo, and he didn't like it, so he wanted me to fix it. But I was like, why don't you just listen to me in the first place? I know he's gonna hear this, and he don't know I'm talking about him. Yeah. You 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 around? I saw that. I saw that. I saw that. Yeah, folks. Again, what I'm saying, what I'm saying is, I'm talking about the, I'm talking about the level of artistry that I saw at Disneyland. You know, I'm talking about the level of artistry that I saw at Disneyland and how I am thoroughly impressed. I'm thoroughly impressed. I'm thoroughly impressed, and I think Twigs was good.
What's good with you, son?
I'm chilling, fam. I'm chilling.
I see you with the AM. What's popping with you?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling over here, bro. I'm on this. Wait. You can hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Hold on. Let me hit this
Oh,
one.
you can play. I want that stuff over there first.
Yeah, me. Let me
Yo,
jump.
you still out in Cali? Where you at? You in San Fran? You in the Bay?
Yeah, I'm in the Bay, man. I'm in the Bay chilling.
On the Oakland side?
Yeah. I'm doing a live stream right now. So if you don't mind, like I'm gonna let you know right now. You called me while I was doing a live stream.
Oh, see, I know. Is that cool? Me hit you later?
Uh, yeah. Yeah. Or if you don't mind talking right now, I mean, whatever it is,
What you drawing?
I'm drawing right now. I'm on YouTube,
Nice, nice. That's what's up. I gotta get my YouTube up. I'm always doing shit and totally forget to put that shit on video.
bro.
Like,
You know what I'm saying?
what's
I
good though, man? What's the move? What's the absence, son?
well, I mean, like, yo, like I was saying, like, I tried to send you a voice message on Instagram, but I was like, yo, let me pass you my number and just like, yo, if you ever want to do a interview in the future, I'd love to have you on it. Have you just we just chop it up and just talk like dudes, just smoking one and having a beer and shit. So that's just basically
For
it.
sure. For sure. That'd
And
be what's up. I'm totally down for that.
and just talk about the creative process of just how you come about what you want to do. I know you come from a graffiti background also. You do a lot of airbrush.
Word
Um
up, word up.
I remember back in the day, like in the early, like late 80s, early 90s, that was like a thing,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
that was the shit. Matter of fact, when I was just painting, I was with Chris. I was just telling him, I was like, yo, what was that fucking shop up in the Bronx that looked like a fucking train car?
Tough City.
And he was like, that's Tough City. And I was like, yo, is those still rocking up there?
Hey, yo, they just closed down, man. Just closed down this
It
year.
had that vibe in the air. Something told me like it was a vibe that I was like, yo, I had to ask about them, man, because that was a very prolific shop. And I remember in the back, it was mad grab, mad heads that got up. That's a tats group, right?
Task Crew's in the South Bronx, but we were like Northeast Bronx. Like,
So who was in that show? What crew represented that shop there?
it was so Med was from the UA crew, that which was like Scenes crew, and
Yeah,
then
vertical artists. Yeah.
yeah, and then TVT, and I think FC. I think he's down with FC, or FBA. I can't remember. I'm not going to be too sure about that, but mainly UA and TVT. I know he was down with FC also. So and then also we had that at the shop. It was Sess from the FX crew, FC,
Yes.
FBA, and then Yes Two was there when I was there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
and that's basically uh my lineage into it.
Damn, bro. And they just closed that shop.
Just closed it.
That's whack. That shit was. I've only seen pictures of it. I never been in.
Oh, it was crazy, bro. It was
But I remember it looked like the train car on the inside.
right.
The artwork, and I was like, yo. Yeah, I remember I seen a video of some cats getting up in the back. I guess it was mad work back there in the back wall. But I was always impressed with that shit. And you worked there for how long?
I was there for like 3-4 years.
Yeah, yeah. Killing it up in the Bronx back in the day. That had to be some wild shit to be tattooed up there.
Oh, it was nuts, man. It was nuts. You know how it was like. Yeah, like late 80s, 90s. I mean, not sorry, like late 90s, 2000. It was it was bugged out.
Yeah. Because that exact same time, I was on Las Vegas Boulevard getting it in fucking
In
like
Florida.
99, 2000. You know what I mean? Like, yo, that shit was fucking ridiculous.
What so when did you start tattooing?
I have apprenticed for man. I'm apprenticed for a few months, man, and I want to say it was right on the cusp of 99, 2000. You know what I mean? So I always say 2000 because I know that's when I was officially like tattooing. You know what I mean? But it was like in the late 90s. You know what I mean? And I was under Danny Knight.
Right. I remember hearing the name Danny Knight.
Yeah, that's like it was what me, Burt Crack, Ryan Downey, like a lot of those cats are under Danny, you know. And he was from under Tattoos About Lose down here in Miami. So that was like Chris.
Another legendary shop.
Yeah, Tattoos About Lose. Matter of fact, I was just with Emerson for it, and Emerson is another old school cat from Florida. You know what I mean? There's a lot of heritage from Florida. Just like Florida goes right after New York. I tell a lot of people it's like the sixth borough because everybody I know from New York is down here. You know what I mean? So,
Wait. For real? I thought Florida was tattooing way before New York. When was it legalized in Florida?
I mean, New York, shit. New York's legal in our generation. You know what I mean? Because I know in the 80s and the 90s it wasn't really that legal there, from what I understood.
So we New York was legalized in 95.
Yeah, so I remember it was in the 90s. It wasn't. So I remember when Fun City and Johnson Shaw and those dudes was wild, and it was illegal.
Right.
But I remember most of the cats since I came up under Danny Knight. I would call Miami and South Florida the sixth borough because everybody down here was transplants from New York. So they kind of brought that vibe down. So it went from like a lot of different styles in New York to like mainly traditional down here. Like it's either traditional Japanese or traditional Americana style. You know what I mean? So you got your Mike Wilsons and shit down here,
Right.
and you got your like Jimmy Whitlock is a cool dude. Like he got the museum down here, and all those dudes were traditional. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I always remember being down here, with Danny and all those dudes are hardcore traditional dudes down here. So just for being under Danny, it's like my dude Asher, R.I.P. who passed away. He was like more traditional Japanese. Like so, I found that like Florida has a real deep history in tattooing and really good like traditional tattoo that rivals, I would say, like the West Coast or Texas, because I know Texas has a pretty deep traditional. You know what I mean? Who was my dude there? The dude
Trevino.
Chris Trevino.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like I knew a lot of cats that came from Texas that were like hard body, either like rockabilly style Americana, or they were hard body traditional Japanese, and this shit was good.
Yeah, Rich is still.
Rich is still, yeah, exactly. Still, is it still or
Still, I think.
Yeah, one of the two. Yeah, I remember him from back in the day. But Florida, man, and then like Miami is like really challenging. I would say LA right now on the black and gray side, man, because a lot of these Spanish cats out here really get busy. A lot of Venezuelan cats.
Right.
My dude Marco, he's from Venezuela. He's fucking good. So there's a lot of that. I was down because Chris is right now working at some spot called House of 1,000 Roses or something like that. This is the dude who owns. He does the Rolling Loud tour thing down here. So a lot of the rappers fly small. They fly through there. But I guess his lead dude down there is this cat named Panda, and they're doing all those little micro tattoos that are like small as fuck but super detailed.
Right.
So it's interesting to see that little style pop up. And I guess that too is another LA. I know I see it mostly done in LA, out on the West Coast here in Miami, I guess.
Yep.
But I don't know. It's just interesting to see. I was talking to another dude the other day, man. I was like, it was crazy, man. I was like, because when we was coming up in the late 90s, early 2000s, you wasn't even really considered a real tattooer until you had at least 5 years in. You know what I mean? I remember cats being like, yeah, son, you been tattooing for 3 years? Yeah, all right. You know what I mean? And then after 5, they finally started to be like, wow. I've been running to a mad cats now, bro. They got like a year or 2 in, bro. You know what I mean? And that's nothing that good as fuck, you know. But I just think it's crazy to see in our time, especially in the 2000s, like tattooing has done a lot of leaps. You know what I mean? From machines to power supplies, you know, to like all these little things. I guess it's all the other people who are getting into tattooing now, man. But I remember for a while, you know, tattooing was really traditional. You know, you made your needles on Sunday, you know, this, that, and the other. You may even have some time to maybe make a machine or whatever. And now that's totally done now.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, that's totally archaic. You know, I pull out a needle jig and these kids are like, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? And I'm just like, damn, you don't have no idea what this is.
Or dude, I pulled out a eye lube and motherfucker was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "It's an eye lube."
Bro, that was standard practice to eye loop your needles before you started. That was like standard. You know what I mean? Like, I would see artists not eye loop that shit, and I'm like, oh damn, so you just trust that? You know what I mean? And, oh yeah, you know, my bad or whatever. But you know, I was saying though that I think that we have a maybe a higher. I guess that's debatable too. You know what I mean? But I would say, you know, we have a higher skilled artist now because most of these cats are getting into tattooing or actual artists in other fields.
Yeah, I met a few. Sorry to cut you off, but I met a few. Some dudes are like professors, art professors.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because bro, they you know in those early 2000s, and I was probably a large part of that because fuck, I was on fucking reality like tattoo shit from what 2004 up until now. You know, and
Yeah,
you
one
know,
of the good ones.
yeah. Well, you know, I don't know. I want to say tattoo redo to me was probably decent, but Ink and all those other ones were trash. You know what I mean? And they couldn't help to be trash because there was nothing really before it. There was no silhouette to kind of follow like they do now. You know, but you know, it's like people started really seeing that there was some lucrative opportunities in tattooing because before that, you know, we were scumbags. You know what I mean? Like I got into it because it was the closest thing to graffiti, and I could still feel like an outlaw. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I'm still outside the corporate entity. You know what I mean? I'm doing this shit on my own, but you know, before you know it, you know, and I came from airbrushing. You know what I mean? So it was like, you know, I did that for a living, and then before that, it was the military. So when I came into tattooing, it was like, all right, it was like a segue from airbrushing and doing graffiti into that. That was like the normal thing because a lot of cats, fuck the boy, grime, graffiti. I mean, there's a lot of cats that I knew that has a graffiti background, you know what I mean? So it was a natural step, you know? And
Yep.
now everybody's an artist. Like every time I talk to somebody, they're like, oh yeah, I mean, these motherfuckers act like you said, they were professors and teachers in art school. And now they sit next to me and I'm like, damn, bro. And it's crazy to see, but on the opposite end, they're more illiterate when it comes to the actual foundational aspects of tattooing. You know, like I remember my buddy Asher who passed away. He was like, bro, if you can't literally work on these machines, if you can't, like, if your fucking capacitor goes or your power supply goes, if you can't work on that, you shouldn't even be tattooing.
Yep.
And he was like dead ass. You know what I mean? I was like, and I thought about it. I was like, yeah, you're right, bro. Because a lot of this stuff is made by hand.
So do you still use the pen or do you use the machine coil?
No, you know what? I still use those squash drive compacts that we talked about years ago.
Oh, dude, I remember that conversation, man. I still got mine.
Yeah, I still got. I got. Matter of fact, I got 3 of them. You know, and I switched them up and put that weighted grip on it, that
Yep.
metal weighted grip, and people trip out. They're like, "What the fuck is that?" You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, and you know, I could take those apart. You know, what I mean, I just have to do the service the motor with the brushes, but I can still take the top part apart where you can change the throw, and you know, I can still replace the RCA if I need to.
Yep.
You know, but I keep them running. You know,
Yep.
and
I can't replace the motor either, but the like you said, it's the taking apart, putting the weight on and stuff like that. I've gone back. I was using the pen, but I'm going back to the Swatch drive.
Yeah, you know what? I was using those batteries for a few months too in my travels, and I just found out that I was like, "Fuck that, man!" You know, it's like I went right back to a clip cord because for me the battery was cool because it allowed me mobility to move around, especially somebody like you where you're doing a lot of back. and large areas on bodies. You know what I mean? It's cool to be able to walk around the canvas, you know. But I just kept feeling, bro, like it kept letting me down. You know what I mean? Like I'd be ready to rock, and I look, and those damn things ain't powered up. You know what I mean? Or before you know it, I don't know if I got the first versions of those damn things or whatever, but I just started noticing that they weren't quite staying charged as long. You know what I mean? And then I kept feeling like, well, damn, if I'm moving in a way where I'm shading or whatever, I don't want to know that I'm gradually losing power. You know, I want a sustained power source. You know, I mean, I remember years ago when I learned this stuff, the homie Creeper, rest in peace. He's a guy who really got me onto single needle back in the day, old biker dude. And and he was actually the one guy who put me on the rotaries, and this was like fucking 2002, you know, 2003, and he was using rotaries, and he would run off of a fucking car battery, you know, and he would put them in a sequential order, like maybe three batteries, you know. And I remember one day the fucking power went out, and this fool was, you know what I mean? And I was like, damn, Creeper, what you got going on? And he had the little headband joint with the battery in it, like the micro joint. And he was rocking. He was like, yeah, you know, of course, back then we were the scratchers, you know what I mean? So he was like, yeah, you fucking scratchers. I know what the fuck, you know, this is the best power source, you know, and blah, blah, blah. You know, it doesn't fluctuate or whatever. And his shit was moving, right? So going from that to making, like, I pulled out, I remember the area, this had to be like maybe 04, 03, 04, 05, when everybody got into that making their own power supplies, when everybody got to putting power supplies in lunch boxes and shit and weird shit like that, you know? I pulled one of those out, you know, and one of these guys was like, what? And I opened it up, and the actual resistor in there is stamped Radio Shack. You know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, when's the last time you seen a Radio Shack? You know what I mean? But I remember we were very inquisitive, and most tattoo artists were like scientists back then. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah. Just
we were putting together shit. I remember making my own needles, making the curved needles, you know, ordering different, you know, diameter and blended needles to do black. I mean, you really, really had a really in-depth understanding of how a tattoo worked versus now where it's like they just pick it up and play, you know, and if it fucking, you know, it's a $1,200 machine, so if it craps out, they just go, oh, well, and they pick up another one, you know, so I just think that it's a sign of the times because they're doing the same shit with cars, bro. You know what I mean? I'm a car guy too, and I know now that the brand new motherfucking, some of the brand new Mercedes don't even have a hood latch, homie. You know, you can't even pop the hood. You know, you got to go to the dealer, and the dealer has a special key to pop the hood.
Yeah,
that's
you can't.
Crazy to me.
Yeah, you can't. You can't pop the hood on them.
Yeah, I mean they've changed the hardware on the brakes, so where now you can't do your own brake job. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they changed the lug nuts to where you can't take them off without a special key. You know what I mean? You got to go to the dealer to get your wheels off. You know, so I don't think it's really as far as tattooing. I just think it's just how life is. You know, things are moving in a way to where it's touching everybody. You know what I mean? Because I know for a fact a lot of these kids don't know nothing about the machine that they're using. They don't know how many brushes it is. They don't know if it's what type of motor it is. They just know they plug that bitch up and with this battery and they rock and roll.
Yo, you want to hear something funny?
The needles.
There was this one tattooer. He got a pen. He got a pen. Just dropped $1,300 on it.
Damn, that's crazy.
Dropped $1,300. It lasted him a month. Right? He did something messed up. He basically, you know what it is? He didn't know how to reset it. Right? So I reset it for him, right? But I took the whole thing apart. So I just know I know what's inside of it. I know what's inside of it. You know what I'm saying? I know how to take it apart and put it back together. And you know, because it's like this twist apart, it's like this twist, pull. That's how it is. That's how a lot of them things are. Twist, pull, and you can move everything around inside of it.
Yeah.
And then he, you know, like he didn't want the machine when he thought it was broken. So all I did was just like fix it. It was a reset, and then that was it. Now I'm known as one that could just fix one of those pens, but it's not that hard to do it. It's just, I guess it comes from that time of like critical thinking. What you're talking about is just critical thinking, not just laying down and just like, all right, saying this thing is broken but can fix it. You know, it's like the Nintendo days where you blew on the cartridge and shit.
Yeah, I mean, back to the cassette days where, you know, if your cassette started acting weird, you took it apart, you redid the brushes. You know what I mean? You put the pencil in there, tighten it back up, put it together. And they're moving people further and further away from that. You know, I was talking to somebody about that the other day because we were watching this documentary called The Power of Art on YouTube, and it's this dude named Simon Shaman, this real weird, irritating English dude, but he does really, really good documentaries. And the one he has about Rembrandt Van Rijn is really interesting because, you know, Rembrandt can move paint around and layer and like really do a really thick but detailed style painting, and it was because of his knowledge of ink, you know. And they were saying that he used to make ink for his mentors before he started painting when he was in training. So for years, all he did was grind this and grind these flowers into that and grind pigment, you know, and make paint or you know, pigments for his teacher. So when it came time for him to paint, he had a really deep understanding on how paint moves on the surface because he knew the viscosity, he knew how it moved with wet brushes because he used to make it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one thing that is we're starting to see in tattooing, that you have these amazing tattooers because they're artists, but they really don't understand how the equipment works because it's been dumbed down to a way to where they don't have to. You know, I mean, you know, I see a blue spark on a front spring, I automatically know that my capacitor's going. You know, a lot of these cats don't have that. That language is becoming alien to a lot of these people.
Oh yeah,
I mean, and
oh yeah, like or sometimes when you know when your capacitor, so when your armature bar is swinging, sometimes you just need to just clean between the armature bar and the core, you know, with just like a little bit of like,
that file.
You know, like a little bit of file, you know. If you don't want to use a file, you can use
you know what that's called? That movement of the armature bar is called tide and bounce. So if you're hot, if
there you go.
Huh?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, it's called tide and bounce. Like I said, my mentor was a machine builder. You know what I mean? So I was learning how, like, that's another thing. Like and it's so funny because like a lot of these kids now, they come out and they go, oh yeah, I didn't apprentice, I'm self-taught, and they use that like as a badge of honor. And I really think it's crazy because I'm like, yo, you know, if you look at this as martial arts, you know, you went in and you watched through the fence and you saw these Shaolin dudes doing their thing, and yeah, you picked out some stuff because it's very, you know, impactful knowledge. It's very powerful movements. You know what I mean? And if you can get a little crumb of that, you could definitely beat the average dude in the streets. But I was with the teacher. You know, I was the guy who was watching the teacher getting beat up. You know what I mean? I was the guy doing stuff that you didn't get to see all the time. You know what I mean? So there's things that I'm gonna know that you still don't know, even though you got a piece of the knowledge. And I think that's what these people are doing to themselves when they're not actually apprenticing, because there are a lot of things that are still not told. There's still a lot of things that you can't just YouTube. There's a lot of etiquette that you just can't YouTube. And there's a lot of technical prowess and ins and outs. I remember when with us.
Yo, you going in and out. You're going in and out.
And Henry was with us, and he came and did a guest spot here in Florida. And one was trying to make a stencil, and he kept missing it. You know what I mean? It was a little too small, a little too big, like right in between. And I remember Henry was like, oh man, let me give you this equation. You know what I mean? So he was like, what you're going to do is just get your artwork together, right? He's like, yeah. He said, now measure the area in millimeters. And he pulled out the little tailors.
This was Henry? And Twigs, this was Henry?
Say what?
This was Henry?
This is Henry.
Whoa. Don't give that away. Don't give that away. Don't give that away. Don't give that away.
All right, I'll put that one back.
Whoa. Don't. No. Don't give that one away, fam.
And you know what's so funny? About that? That's one of those little gems that I never really talk about unless I'm around somebody. And it's only been like maybe 3 or 4 people that I've ever been around in my travels that were like genuinely like, I want to learn this, I want to learn that. You know, every time I looked up, they were painting. So I remember my apprentice, I told him about it. And I remember when I was last in Vegas, I asked him, because he kept trying to blow some stuff up. I said, yo, man, what did I tell you about that equation? He was like, oh, man, I forgot, because Henry tattoos him all the time. So he was, oh, I forgot. I said, yo, you call Henry and ask him. I said, because I already told you about that. But those are the gems, Andre, that you're not going to be able to Google that. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to go to YouTube and somebody that's going to spit that out, because that's a part of knowledge. Just like you see right there, that it's still it's still guarded. You know what I mean? Like, so you can have that.
Nah, chill. We ain't doing that, man. That was a good one. I learned, yo. You know who taught me that? Regino.
Yeah.
Regino Gonzalez.
See?
That's where Henry learned that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I forgot who told me who did it, but he was like, "Yo, Tway, check this out." He gave it to me, and I was like, And I remember I did it real quick, and it was perfect. Like, bleep. And he was like, "That way, you're not going through paper, you're not going through, thermofax paper. Your shit is right there." And I was like,
every time works like a charm.
And it's one of those things too that what I was telling my apprentice. Because I still, because I got two apprentices, or I had two apprentices, and they've both been tattooing over fucking 10 years now. But whenever I show up, I still, just like, to me, it's like martial arts. I still quiz them. I be like, hey, what's up with that? Or what's up with this? Let me see how you doing that. And I remember I asked him, and I was like, he had totally forgot that. And I said, that's the thing, man. I was like, what makes a black belt is his ability to retain knowledge. You know what I mean? I was like, because you can go through this all day long, but if you don't remember it, then it's useless. You know what I mean? I was like, and that's also going to show you how eager you are to retain this and learn and be the best student. I was like, because that was a gem that will really save you. You know what I mean? There's a lot of little things that you can, I forgot that, or I remember that. I was like, but that's what you should definitely know. So he was like, I'm going to hit Henry up and ask him. But those are the things that make and break a lot of tattooers, and I know there are a lot of these guys out there that are fabulous when it comes to like putting down a portrait or laying this out or whatever, because of their art background, but they're still novices when it actually comes to the skill of tattooing. You know what I mean? Because there's still a lot of things, off the skin they don't know. There are a lot of bedside manners they don't know. They don't have any idea how this equipment works. They don't know why you would use a round mag versus a straight mag. They don't understand why this, round shader is probably better than using this flat mag. I've seen guys pull off the smoothest portraits using just a single needle and no washes. Dipping in black and 1-2 dip in water, and that shit is exactly what they wanted. You know what I mean? And then when I talk to those dudes, these dudes have in-depth knowledge on the equipment. I'm not talking about like, oh, bro, I do this and I run this and I do this and I, just like, when's the last time you seen somebody open up a needle, with a lighter?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you know what it is a lot of people. Something happened where all these people are just like, a lot of people it's hard for them to trust or listen, and that grew over time, and I've noticed that to talk to a younger tattooer, they're very apprehensive. It's like the truth to them is kind of like poison. Knowledge is like poison. If it's not on the internet, if it's not, like, well, it's kind of like, well, if the person that taught me didn't teach me this, how do I know is true? And it's like, well, that's what I came to find out when I started just doing larger stencils. There's a lot of people that just didn't know how to do stencils, and as I or even ink, or making ink, or like making needles, like you might not know, but if somebody's willing to teach you it, it's not be lucky that they're teaching you it, because it's in a way, it's a blessing. It's a blessing to, like you said, Henry taught you that equation to make a good stencil. Now it changed your life. It changed your creative process. You can't, all you can really say is that, thank you. You know what I mean? Because guess what? This is part of what comes with tattooing, when your peers can look at you and say, oh, you know what? Let me just show them this.
For sure. But, I think the one thing that we also have to understand too is that being in a knowledge revolution, or like this vortex of knowledge where knowledge is everywhere. It's in your hand, and it's in your phone. It's, everybody, and it's coming at light speed. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Now, it's like I was like, fuck it, I want to because and it's funny because I'm not really a tattoo artist. You know what I mean? I'm really a painter before I'm a tattoo artist. You know what I mean? So I'm the type of artist that I see different mediums and I'm very eager to understand how they work. It just so happens that people dig my tattoos, so I kind of held that lane for a while. But I would much rather grab a can or an airbrush, before I grab a tattoo machine. And so usually if I'm in my studio, I'm generally painting or I'm doing like an acrylic pour, you know what I mean? Or I play with clay, castelline, all type of stuff like that. So I remember when I saw somebody make a rug for the first time, and I was like, damn, that's how you make a fucking rug, And I go to YouTube, boom, rug tufting. All right, cool. Watch a couple of videos. All right, cool. Go to Google, rug tufting machine. All right, boom, there it is. You know what I mean? All right, cool. Wait for it. Boom, get it. Go to Michael's, go to Hobby Lobby. All right, boom, Google how to make a frame. But of course, I'm me, so my frame got to be bigger and nicer than this little shit you can buy off of fucking Amazon. You know what I mean? So boom, make the frame now. Boom, I'm cranking out rugs within days, and it tripped me out because I'm talking to my son. I said, son, back in the day when I wanted to, like, for example, I was into model railroading back in junior high school. And my biggest thing was I could weather like the box cars and shit like that. And I wish I was into it now because I would be killing the box cars with graffiti. But I remember for me to have to understand how that process worked with model railroading and weathering and the different scales or whatever, I had to go to the library. I had to go to a card catalog. Then I had to hope, fingers crossed, that book or that magazine was still in.
Yep.
If it wasn't, I had to keep waiting. Or what I had to do is I had to go find somebody. All right. And when you say find somebody, think about it back in the 80s. You had to go find somebody. It was either in a magazine or a newspaper or word of mouth. Like, oh, this dude right here does that. You know what I mean? And then boom, And when you got near these people, you knew that anything they said, any crumb they left behind could help you because you knew how hard it was to gain that knowledge.
Yeah, dude, some people didn't want to sell you shit.
Some people didn't want to say that. Us being melanated, we knew how that was back in getting into this industry, But I remember, fast forward, when I finally got into tattooing, I remember going to conventions, and it wasn't really about tattooing. It was about talking to these people who I idolized or I seen their work, and I was like, oh, And I remember sitting next to Robert Foe at the Long Beach convention years ago, 2004, 2003. I sat next to Robert Foe. Didn't even tattoo, bro. All I did was hand that dude water, and shoot the shit with him and watch him tattoo. You know what I mean? And that's when I got put onto. He was using those blue shock tiles you get from AutoZone.
Oh yeah.
And that was the first time I seen somebody use the blue shock tiles.
Dude, I just started using them shits this year.
Really? What? Yeah, I've been using those shits forever, bro. You get them nice and moist.
Bro, I just started using them shits, bro.
And so soft. This was 2003, bro. And he was like, yeah, Twig, I've been using them. He said, because I only need 3 or 4 of them for a whole tattoo. Once they get moist, they don't break up. And they're very gentle on the skin and they're very absorbent. So I don't need to do quite as many wipes. He said, I could take a break, leave it on my setup, come back and use the same fucking towel. And I'm like, what? So for sitting there with him for a few hours, I learned how he broke down his grays. And I learned that he used those blue shock tiles. And that helped my tattooing, because while everybody else is blowing through towels, I go buy them on sale, a pack of 2 or a pack of 4 or whatever, and I safe kept them, and then I would cut them in half. You know what I mean? And I learned that from him. I learned shit from Carlos Torres in Bogota. I worked with him and Bob Tyrell. I remember Bob was showing me how to wrap up a beer can so you could drink it while you tattoo. You know what I mean? And it was this little kooky shit that I was learning from these dudes that I really felt, thankful. And now, you go to a convention, these kids have been tattooing for 2 years. They don't watch nobody.
They got the headphones on.
It goes back to what you were saying too, is that A, they feel like, oh, I don't trust what you're saying. You could be leading me down the wrong path, because they do that shit. And then 2, they feel like, what can you teach me when I know this much already? Because I'm at an area where I've been tattooing for 2 years and my approaches look like fucking Bob Tyrell's or Jack Rudy's or whatever. And I've only got 2 years in. You know what I mean? So
I got more followers than you. What you know?
I got more followers than
Yeah,
you. Like,
that type of shit.
You've been tattooing for what, 22, 23 years. I'm booked up like you, and I've only been tattooing for 3. So what can you tell me? You see that a lot too in the rap game. You know, these cats are like, yo, I'm at 40 million already. You know what I mean? And 2 years in the game, you were still playing small venues. I'm playing coliseums. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. So it's like, how can you tell me when I'm right here? You know what I mean? And you just go, all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cool. You know what I mean? But you know, I just feel that, you know, I love talking to older tattooers, man, because there's still so many gems out there that these younger cats they're moving so fast. It's almost like, Andre, they move so fast that they're not taking time to enjoy the process. You know what I mean? Because just like when I ride in a car, when we were younger, we played that game where you pick cars, you know what I mean? Like, that's my car. And then as that game kind of like evolved, you just couldn't say that's my car no more. You had to say what kind of car it was. You know what I mean?
Right.
To prove that you knew what kind of car. So you just can't be like, oh, that's my car. Like, nah, that's my Corvette Stingray, or that's my, you know, Volkswagen, or that's my Buick Regal. You know, you had to say what kind of car it was. You know what I mean? And I think that game almost forced you to enjoy life because you looked out the window and you observed a lot more things. You know, now my kids can get in the car and they don't even know how to get to place because they're so busy looking at their phone. They don't even observe shit in life no more. So I remember when the machines were hand built. You know, I remember my buddy Asher used to fall through with a fucking Pelican case full of machines that he had just built. You know, like, yeah, man, you know, I just made these 15 machines. And to look at that and like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, this dude just took the whole month, him and Dan Dringenberg, and all they did, you know what I mean, was make machines, you know what I mean? And now I'm holding something that went from raw material, you know, into this now, you know what I mean? And that was something very special to now having these machines that are just mass-produced vibrators that have no soul, you know what I mean? They have no characteristics. They all look exactly alike. And they work great, you know what I mean? But, you know, it's like when I get in my car, I got a 64 Chevelle, you know what I mean? When I kick that over, it's just a feeling, bro. It's a style, it's a vibe, it's an energy that car emits that the Tesla don't emit. You know, even though the Tesla is cool, you know what I mean? I was driving one of those for a second and it was cool how quiet it was. And, you know, the air and the radio goes right back to where you had it when you get out the car. You know what I mean? Like, those little amenities are kind of dope, you know what I mean? But it's nothing like my car, you know. If it don't start, I hit with a little fucking ethanol, you know, I fucking, you know, check a spark plug and it kicks right back on. You know what I mean? I know how to fix it. You know, I understand it. And I think that understanding of the machine gives you a different vibe with it.
Yeah.
That a lot of these guys are losing. You know what I mean? They are. You know, because like you said, we were scientists back then, bro. We weren't scared to take shit apart because we had to take it apart to put it together.
Yep.
You know,
I remember I saw my friend.
Coil.
I remember seeing my friend take apart his he found a Nintendo and took the whole thing apart, and I was scared. Like, yo, you taking the whole Nintendo apart,
son? And put it right back together.
Put it right back together.
One of my first machines. Because think about this, though. When I got my first machines, it was straight out of the national catalog. You know what I mean? And if you didn't know what the fuck you was reading, that shit was like alien hieroglyphs. You know what I mean? Like, you had to order a swing gate fucking bulldog frame, and I want a 10 wrap coil, and I want, you know, my fucking liner to be maybe an 8 wrap, or I want a 13 wrap coil with, you know, and then, you know, so it's like all these things you're breaking down. And with this size capacitor, you know, these cats can order shit like that now. You know what I mean? Like a flyweight. I want my liner to be a flyweight, you know, and this, that, and the other. And I remember getting that machine, man. And you know, you walked around with that machine. That was when dice was on the machine. You had to have the dice on the machine, and with the fish scale flake coil wraps. You know what I mean? And I remember I walked around with this in my pocket, Andre. It was so I was so excited to have 2 real machines. You know what I mean? And I remember Danny's like, oh, let me see machines. He grabbed my machine and he tossed that shit in the motherfucking autoclave. And I mean, in the ultrasonic, you know what I mean? Like, bloop. And I was fucking floored, yo. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I thought we almost had the box. You know what I mean? I was like, what the fuck? And he took that shit out with the gloves and shook that shit. and hit it with the clip cord, and that shit ran perfectly. And I was like, what? That's when he started breaking down the machine. Like, yo, you know, this is insulated, and this is how this works, and this is how that works. And that won't ever hurt anything. You know, just watch out for the contact. If you remove the contact, that's when I learned about tide and bounce and the rear spring and the front spring. And a lot of motherfuckers had capacitors upside down because the arrow was pointing the wrong way.
Yo, but
that's back in the day where if you had the wrong metallurgy on the frame, your frame would start to charge itself, and it would make the armature running, and then you had to hit against a charge.
Yes, it becoming magnetic. Oh, yo, you breaking up. You breaking up.
Yeah. It would become magnetic because you may not have your coils insulated right. That's when we would cut open those pop cans and make shims that would insulate the coil from the frame. And a lot of cats that didn't have that, you could start to charge your frame, especially if it was made of steel, you know. So I remember my was like crazy. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is it? My capacitor? Like, is it a hole in my spring? What the fuck? And Danny took that shit and banged that shit against the fucking Craftsman fucking toolbox, and that shit was like running like a sewing machine after that. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? He was like, yeah, bro, you gotta insulate these coils because they're starting to charge, you know, because they're not insulated properly against the frame, you know. And there was little things like that, man, that was cool about tattooing because you almost had to be a mechanic and a scientist, you know, at the same time. You know what I mean? And you know, if you like to take apart things and you like to kind of like tinker with stuff, that's what to me was what made tattooing so awesome. And like I said, and now, you know, they've kind of taken that off of the industry. They kind of taken that art form of being able to take apart the machine and rebuild the machine and improve on the machine. You know, because you remember when I do special techniques was out there making machines real crazy, out of bearings and different skateboard parts and shit like that and brass, you know what I mean? I thought that was cool, you know, Seth Safari, you know, these dudes making dope machines, you know, and, you know, Small Paul, you don't see that too much no more, you know. I don't know, I kind of missed that, you know. I used a Mike Wilson coil that Chris had not too long ago, bro, and it was so nostalgic. I was thinking about, fuck, you know, I may start mixing the coils back in because they're just so dope.
Yeah, I was when I was at Seventh Son, man, Luke was still using a coil. And I was like, oh yeah, I see that look that he's talking about. And I still, you know, I haven't got rid of my coils. I haven't got rid of my power supply. I still have all my fucking good luck iron tubes.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah. I still got my Icon magazines from back in the day.
I still got them joints. I still got mine.
Still got those shits, bro. Like those like little Bibles to me, man. You know what I mean? And I remember because you know Chris has a fucking treasure trove of fucking machines, and it's really hard for him to use rotaries because they're too light for him. He doesn't really, you know, he likes that weight, you know, of like a fucking bulldog, like a steel frame, you know. So a lot of times I'll go hang out with him and, you know, I'm like, oh, let me use this one for a week because this dude has, you know, from Robomatics to fucking 14 different Mike Wilson that Mike Wilson actually built, you know. And Chris is like he's like a machine genie, bro. Like he could look at a machine like, oh, that's a precision nail, or, oh, that's a from this year, you know. So that gets me to use a lot of cool shit. And I remember how nice it feels. I think what I do like about the rotary is that the rotary doesn't have a gift, so you can really feel the needle in the skin because there's no spring there, you know. But what I do like too is the way it does feel when there's a weighted up machine and how the needle, that metal tube with that stainless needle, man, it just moved in a way that you felt different through the skin. You know what I mean? It was the sensitivity is different, I think, you know. And I think that there are a lot of artists who haven't felt that. They haven't felt that.
Oh, that vibration. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they don't know what that was like. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I remember having an artist tell me you could never get pure white with, you know, you're going metal to metal. I mean, so he was like, that's why you could never get pure white going that way. And he was like, that's why I love when they did go, because I would use that just for, I remember just using plastic Right, because you didn't get that metal to metal went off of it, turning to gray. The metal shavings leave off. But too, and with the, that plastic tube is like the industry standard. It's kind of interesting to see.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know, man. Like, you know what I have a Swash Drive all stainless steel. It's a nice weight.
Yes.
I have a brass one and I have a steel one. And I like the weight on that.
Like I said, I got these weights these clip grips, and they're made out of steel and they're heavy. And I put those on those Swash Drive compacts. And bro, I love it. You know what I mean? Like, it has that weight. And then, those compacts, you had them because, fuck, you and Henry turned me onto them. Being able to change my throw from that, like a grenade at the top, you know what I mean? And I can go from across 0, 1, then I can jump up and really, push. That's a really awesome machine, and they're really hard to find now. They discontinued them years ago.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Because I remember when I seen you at the Bay Area that year, me, you, and Henry got together. I remember you were like, "Oh, bro, if you ever come across them, I'll buy them from you." I'll buy them from you. I'm like, bro, myself. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking for this motherfuckers myself. And since I saw you that day, I actually got 2 more. So now I got 3 total.
Oh, you do? Same. I got 3.
I got one that has a vice on the side, and I got one that it doesn't have that little vice latch on the side. I got one that was old school that you just tighten from the front with like a cinch bolt. And so yeah, those are great machines. I just I didn't really get too much in the FK thing or those wands or whatever like that. I just kind of felt weird that it was like, I still like those machines too, because it's still kind of shaped somewhat like a traditional tattoo machine, the way it kind of like the machine is kind of behind the grip somewhat.
Yep.
I think that's something that people kind of forget, that we were taught in our class to swing the machine. You know what I mean? That's why we would take batteries to pens and apprenticeships so you can get that swing, you know what I mean, and build up that muscle in your hand. And I think that pen kind of throws me off since it's straight up and down. It always kind of threw me off a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm just used to swinging the machine. You know what I mean? And so I don't know, man. I think it's cool. But I like innovation too. So it's just interesting to see, the different innovations that are coming out. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I first seen that battery, that tripped me out.
Oh, dude, like I still trip out about it to this day, But
yeah, I'm just like.
But it's just, it's where tattooing is. I think it's just, that's one of the things with this industry where tattooers, if we want things to be a certain way, I think there has to be like more open lines of communication and supporting, like kind of like how the automotive world worked, or like the NBA and baseball, like these different owners came together, put their money together, and then started their own thing, like, because a lot of this stuff that's coming into tattooing ain't even from America in a way, or they're not even from tattooing, like the original.
That's the thing, bro. You hit it. Yeah, you hit it on the head twice, bro. The communication is a wrap. So you got people who come out here, and after 2 years, they open up a private studio and they sit by themselves with their like little core frame cheerleaders or whatever. And I remember on my day, bro, we would go out and hit other tattoo shops. You know what I mean? Hey, say what's up to homie across town. You know what I mean? Hey, what's up? Oh, what's up? I mean, bro, it was crazy because I remember in my first 5 years of tattooing, we would hook up with other tattoo shops and go bowling. And because I was in Vegas, so a lot of casinos have bowling alleys. So we would go to the Orleans and meet a couple other tattoo shops over there and talk shit and bowl and get trashed. You know what I mean? And from that, we would go to other shops and do trade paintings, and shit like that, And I don't really see that too much no more. Even with Flash, you know what I mean? A lot of these new cats, they don't do Flash, they don't do any of that cool shit that made it a craft. You know what I mean? That made it like something that was super cool,
Oh yeah, and, dude,
communication is a wrap.
That's what I kind of miss. I started doing like 2 or 3 different collaborations, but like like it'll be like that dude Amori. I said, hey, can you do a Eddie Murphy, and I'll do a Jay Dragon, or like Jay Watkins. He's doing them frogs, and I said, hey, here's this dragon head, draw some frogs on it, like little things like that to do it, because it's just like, what's out there, like where's the collaborative kind of, uh thing with artists now, because it just seems like everybody's just doing like their own thing and just got caught up with just the internet.
It's an ego thing, man. I think with social media has instilled a new ego, and the ego is numerical. You know what I mean? So it's like, what's your numbers? Like how many people are following you? And you get people who feel like, well, I have to really get my numbers up and be this star on this platform, so that way I can feel like I'm legit with everybody else who has these blue checks or whatever. And I think with that being said, there's the ego that sets into where it's like, people don't collab like that no more, because it's like this selfishness, you know what I mean? And if I help you, is that gonna boost my numbers or your numbers? You know what I mean? And it's weird because I see a lot of cats like that where, they will do some shit and present it in a way that it's applicable or it inflates their social status. You know what I mean? Instead of going, hey, I want to collab with you because it's going to be a learning experience. Because that's what the Masters did. That's what fucking all the way up to Basquiat. You know what I mean? When he was fucking around with Andy. You know what I mean? He was like, yeah, bro, this dude is bringing the silk screen action. I'm going to paint over it. And that combination of two very different styles was awesome. And then that led other people to see those two styles and work off of that silhouette and go, all right, well, they did this, now we're going to do that. But it takes two artists to have a control of their ego. You know what I mean? Because, these are your ideas. This is your creativity that you're putting out there, and you're allowing somebody to adapt to it or add to it or subtract to it. And a lot of these cats I know now, a lot of the stuff that they're doing is really not all that original, and B, they're so self-centered on their social status that it's hard for them to be like, hey, let's and if they do collaborate, it's always mismatch. Like, this guy's really, 1.5 million followers, and this dude is, 2,500, and this dude is helping him out. Like, hey, I'm gonna look out for you, But I really think that now we have so many artists in our craft that are real artists, not biker motherfuckers trying to just get some money and get high, but real fucking artists that I don't understand why there isn't more collaborations, especially right now. You gotta understand, bro. Like, right now, the caliber of artists that's in the tattoo industry is the highest it's ever been. I'm talking about, bro, you can't look back in no years and find this many masterful and skillful.
Whoa. All right. Wait. Stop right now. We ain't gonna let's just you know what I mean?
Think about it. Because per capita for a very long time, bro, tattooing is very underground. And you couldn't even find a tattoo shop that was so underground. So with it being so much more accessible, I'm just looking numbers wise, percentage wise. You said it yourself, there's college professors now who tattoo.
Yeah.
It's become so accessible. All right, that right now
they're tattooing and they're also doing OnlyFans.
Bro, that's my point exactly. So my thing is this: with it becoming so much more accessible, right now you could YouTube how to tattoo. You couldn't do that in the 80s. Right. So there are people right now who can teach themselves this craft without no outside help other than having a Wi-Fi connection. And these people went from being a sculptor, they went from being a painter, they went from being a welder, they went from being a mathematician, an architect, and now these dudes are tattooing. The Sean Barbers, the me's, you know what I mean? Like, we were doing other art forms, and then now we're into tattooing. So we're a testament to that right now.
Yeah, we were the early ones.
Yeah, bro, we were the early ones. We segued. I was just hanging out with Richie, your boy Scene, when I was out in Las Vegas. He lives out there now, and Scene was
probably one of the first ones that had to deal with the backlash of being a graffiti writer and coming into tattooing, because that was looked down upon.
Yeah, they're like, who the fuck are you? who the fuck who did you press under? Like, what's the fuck's the deal? And lucky for him being seen and being cool as fuck, because bro, he has work from Henning. I mean, he has work on his body. And I'm like, God damn, bro, I didn't know you got tattoos, but I do. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, bro. You know, when I was over in France, got work from Tintin and this person and that person. His my buddy who owns Old Vegas, Phil Luck. He's actually from Brooklyn, and he's down. He knows that he's like a fucking tattoo fucking documentarian. This dude knows everybody. But he was like, yo, his wife is the person who represents Scene with his art and his prints and shit like that. So I ended up hooking up with those dudes around Christmas last year. And no, it was after Christmas. And it was cool as fuck. We were just shooting the shit about that. I was like, damn, that's crazy how you went from graffiti into that and, own the shop and everything. He was like, yeah, it was fuck, because pretty much what we were saying, how they were looking at him like, who the fuck are you to open up? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he learned from Spiderweb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's sword swallowing dude.
Yeah.
And so from the 80s until now, bro, look at the caliber of artists that were segueing into tattooing. Everybody was a Don Ed Hardy because everybody had art experience. You know what I mean? Like, everybody could draw. Now look at the people. Look at the people out there doing tattoos now, bro. Like, they're mind-boggling, some of this shit, and it's from people you haven't even heard of. That's like, damn, let's do this painting in the skin.
Right.
And so like I said, right now you can go to Amazon and buy tattoo equipment. When I bought my equipment, bro, the national catalog or the HubSpot catalog looked like a fucking phone book. There was no pictures in there. You know what I mean? If you didn't know what the fuck you was ordering, you was fucked.
Oh, dude, it's funny. So the first machine I got was through Unimax Tattoo, and it was the same thing. It was Imagine the Magazine, but imagine a magazine, but you're there, and imagine a real life magazine. But the thing is like, everybody that worked there, they knew tattoo language. So if you didn't know what you were talking about, they wouldn't even sell to you.
They wouldn't even sell to you. Yeah, they look at you like you were stupid.
Yeah, and so like, and one of the guys that like he remembered me, and he was like, yo, you're still tattooing? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, yo, I work over here now. And I'm like, oh shit, now he's working at Inked NYC. And it's just like, it's kind of crazy that when there's people watching you, and they're paying attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember going in there, and they were a little standoffish because I didn't really go to Unimax that much because I didn't tattoo in New York. I was still in Las Vegas. And I remember I hooked up with Jazz when he had his little spot in Fort Greene, Black Lotus or something. I think it was Black Lotus. And he rolled up in there with me, and they were like, oh, and he introduced me to a bunch of the people there. But I remember going because that was like New York spot. You know what I mean? Unimax is where you got all your shit from. You know what I mean? And I remember that was like back in the day jam now, bro. Those spots are legendary. Now, man, anybody could walk up into the tattoo spot and get whatever.
Yep.
It wasn't like that all the time.
Crazy. That's just crazy to me.
It's such evolution, man. It's like little by little, day by day, you get further away. You know what I mean? Like, yep, here we go, bro. But hey, man. But yeah, man, look, let me get ready to get out of here, man. I gotta make a couple runs.
All right. Yo, Twigs, thank you so much, man. Thank you for your time.
Whatever. I know I'm gonna start heading out to actually I gotta go to Cleveland and to New York. After New York, I'm gonna start heading out west. So maybe I try to link up with you at some point when I'm out west.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see what's good, man. How your kids doing?
Kids are great, man. Just came back from Disneyland with the little one.
Nice.
That place is an artistic wonder. Like, again, like, I say what some people are gonna say about Disneyland, but like the way they composed that place, it was just amazing to be in it. And I have fun with my little one, and have fun with my wife.
Bro, that's when you have to have an artistic eye to even understand that. You know what I mean? Because the feeling that they give you, because I know I think Disneyland is out there, so we got Disney World here.
Yeah.
And I know the one in California, I always kind of, not to say it like that, but I always kind of like, with that one. You know what I mean? Because you can see it from the highway. You can see Magic Mountain and everything from the highway, And I don't know if you've been to the one here.
Nah, I haven't. No, this is my first time. This is my first time ever going. I've never been. Never ever been.
Check this out. Because when I was in the NAV in the Navy, you could go to Disney World for free as long as you wear your uniform. So there was a lot of Navy cats that went to boot camp out in San Diego that ended up getting when I was in DC. And they were like, yeah, we would go to Magic Mountain. Everything was cool, but it was like when we got to Florida and went to the one in Florida, it was crazy because the one in Florida, when you pull into the parking lot area, you got to get on the ferry. You know what I mean? So when you get on the ferry takes you into Disney World. So it's almost like Jurassic Park. You know what I mean? Where it's like, you really feel like you in a different spot.
Oh, man. I can't wait.
You feel me? So I think that's what kind of threw me off when I see Magic Mountain. Because I'm like, yo, I'm on the highway and I can see this. When you go to the one in Florida, dog, you don't see nothing. You see water and a parking lot. And then you get on that ferry and you're super happy. And before you know it, 10, 15 minutes later, bro, you pull up to Disney World. And when you get off like that little dock, you're in a totally different area where ain't nobody upset. You know what I mean? Everybody happy. Your wallet about to get raped. You know what I mean? But
Jesus.
Everybody's happy. You know what I mean? Like, just smile. And it was just, I was like, wow, dude, it's crazy how they've orchestrated this place to be perfect. I'm talking about like,
dude, there's a moving art gallery.
It's a moving, everywhere you look is visually set up.
Bro, the colors,
the way things, like everything is thought out, Andre.
But Twig, I swear to God, yo, you're gonna listen. Tonight. Listen to what I was saying. You gotta go listen to this one. It's called. You see a picture of me sitting next to my daughter, but that's what I just said. It's everything is thought out from if you look at a bird's eye view to like if you're walking in, how just the layout is. It's made for you to just get engulfed. And I'm 44, fam. I'm 44. You might be the same age as me, younger. You're old, but
I'm 52, bro.
You what?
Yeah, I'm 52, bro.
Nigga, I thought you were the same age as me.
Nah, I'm 52, bro. I came out of high school in '89, homie.
Oh shit!
Fight the Power was the big song.
Bro, I'm 44. This is my first time going. I know you gotta go, but this is my first time going, and bro, I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Bro, now, because they got them all over the world. My dude said the one in Japan is bonkers.
That's what somebody...
My dude is a designer for Mazda, a brother. Went to school in Cleveland, ended up getting picked up for industrial design and car design from Mazda. So he was like, yeah, dude, I went to the one in Florida. I went to the one in LA. He said, when I went to the one in Japan, he was like, you got to think about it. If everything is down to the last fiber, articulated in a way to be perfect. He said, now imagine if it was the same thing, but the Japanese did it. And you already know it's in their makeup to overthink and like master and
go all out.
like this dude spent his whole life just making sure, this was perfect. And that's in their culture, you know what I mean? Like their culture is like, no, bro, you do one thing, you pick it, you master that shit. So he said, dude, you go to fucking Disneyland and took him to Japan, bro. He was like, bro, it's fucking incredible. You know what I mean? He was like, and right behind that was the one in Florida where you gotta take the ferry to that motherfucker because it's like that's like Walt's original, you know what I mean? So I remember standing there, bro, and just like I looked around and you could never see like them slipping or like the behind the scenes or oh, there's the framework for that or oh, that's
No, none of that.
It was perfect.
Everything is clean and nice. Hey, yo, dude, this no chip paint.
If you're in the air, you're not going to see anything you're not supposed to see. Just like when I go to Vegas.
That's what I'm saying. Bro, that's what I'm saying, bro. Nothing's out of place.
Yeah, bro. I was in a Luxor in Vegas, and you can see if you go, because they don't have an elevator, they have an escalator, because it goes sideways. You know what I mean? And I remember going up there, and the rooms were lame. And I remember looking over, and you could see behind a lot of the facades, the framework, like you were in like some Hollywood back lot. You know what I mean? And I was like, see, you shouldn't be able to see that. You know what I mean? Like, it should look like the front.
Right.
But they got lazy, you know what I mean? But that's what really made me appreciate Disney World, because it was nothing was lazy. If you got behind something, it looked exactly how it was fucking supposed to look. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, wow, yeah, that was dusty, or, oh, yeah, you know, dude. Nah, it was perfect everywhere you look. Everywhere, you know what I mean? The costumes didn't smell funky when they rolled up on you.
Yo, Mickey Mouse looked nice and clean. Minnie, Goofy, Donald. Dude, Donald Duck's feathers was all nice and white. That was
perfect, son. You know what I mean? Like, the Asian lady just made that suit for him, dog, before he went out.
Fam.
Yeah, man, like, you know, the people don't really understand the artistic fucking dedication that
bro
place puts on. You know what I mean?
I'm inspired. I am a 44-year-old inspired man. Bro. All right, yo, Twigs, I know you gotta go. But
check this. When I was when I got out of high school, I was like, yo, you know, I could beef with the art teachers in school. So I got accepted to go to the art school, the San Francisco School of Art, and I got accepted to go to Atlanta School of Art. And I don't know what got into me, man, but I was like, yo, bro, you know what, man? Like, I have beef with these art teachers in high school. I don't want to go pay and be beef with these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? I was just like fucking naive and crazy. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go to the Navy, because at least I don't got to shoot nobody and I get to travel. You know what I mean? And I remember, bro, I remember getting out of boot camp. My boot camp was in Orlando, and it was a co-ed boot camp, so it was women there too. So that was dope. You know what I mean? So for 13 years, push-ups, looking at females doing push-ups. You're like, yeah, as soon as we get out of here, you know, I'm smashing, son. You know what I mean? Like, when you got out you couldn't find a hotel, motel, or nowhere around, bro, because motherfuckers is going directly to that chick you've been staring at for 13 weeks. But after I got out of boot camp, I remember, like I said, if you wore your uniform, you got into any one of those parts for free. You know what I mean? And I don't know why I didn't fuck with Universal at the time, but I would catch a little shuttle from the little Navy base, and I would go to Epcot, and I would go to Disney World a lot. You know what I mean? And Epcot was cool because, you know, every area around there. Have you been to Epcot yet before?
Nah, dude, I haven't been to any of the Disneys.
Okay, so Epcot is well, you went to Disneyland. Well, you went to Disney Land out in Cali, right?
Yeah, this is my first time ever.
Okay, so Epcot is where they have that big golf ball. You know what I mean? It looks like that big ball.
Yeah.
And around it is different countries. So literally, when you walk around Epcot, you get into like the Japanese section, and everybody there is Japanese. Geishas is walking around. You know what I mean? You can get sushi. You know, they may have a little fucking, you know, samurai fight real quick. You know what I mean? Then boom, you're in Germany. Everybody German. Everybody drinking out of steins. Boom, you go to Mexico, you know, so it's one of those situations. When you go into that ball, it's a ride that it takes you through like time and blah, 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 whatever. But it's the one that you walk around, and I like to go there because I would drink this watermelon juice. They were squeezing like fresh watermelon juice in Mexico with lime, and I would drink that. Then I would go into Germany and eat like schnitzel and shit like that.
Crazy.
I could do that for free because I wore my Navy uniform. Then I can go to Disney World for free and walk right in, bro. Like with my Navy uniform, they was like, oh, yo, hey, yeah, walk right. Like, boom, here. Walk in, you know what I mean? So I would go 3 or 4 times a week. You know what I mean? And
that's nuts.
I got to really see like, wow, this is a very interesting place, man, because I've been here like 3 times this week, and it's been the same. Like, I'm talking about, like, everybody's happy, everybody's good to see you. Like, there's never been some trash. It's never been like somebody tripping. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, it's a real production they put on there, bro.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like no joke, But yo, man, it was good talking to you, my brother, man. Much love to you. And definitely let's stay in touch, kid.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll be out there. I'll be out there in Orlando. I'm gonna go visit my dad for the first time ever.
In Orlando?
Yeah.
Oh man, link me, man.
I definitely
I'm
will.
from Orlando.
You got my number, so I'll text you when I'm heading out there.
Yeah, man. I know. I should live there for a year, man. So definitely, we can definitely move around.
All right.
All right. Hit
Yeah.
me up, my brother.
Yeah, definitely.
And I know a couple of cats on tattoo shops there too. If you want to work.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm gonna hit you up about that.
All right. All right.
All right. All right. Peace. All right, folks. That was Twigs. I would definitely say he is a tattoo pioneer. He's one of the tattooers that when I started tattooing, I looked up to, and you heard his story. I think he's one of them tattooers that definitely deserves his flowers. He put in that work. Um, wait. Let me check. Hold on, folks. Let me check. Let me make sure that there's no feedback. Testing one. Testing one, two. Yeah. Volume is good. Okay. All right. I did this little octopus while I was drawing. Hey, look, see, I'm not bullshitting, folks. This is what you get with my lives. It's actually me drawing. I love to tattoo this. You know, this would be like a cool like either like leg sleeve, something on the leg, something on the arm. It could be an arm. It could be a sleeve. You know, some waves. I'll just add some waves in, some ripples. You know, this was fun. This is probably like a nice little one piece micro tattoo. I'd have to redo some stuff for it to be a micro tattoo, but yeah. Um, that's two. I did 2 hours and 38 minutes. Let's do like another hour. Let's do another hour. All right. If you're watching this and you are on my you're on the YouTube, hit the like button, please. This is my first. This is my first day back. Yeah, it's my first day back. I was I was in Florida. I was in Florida doing the damn thing, you know. As you heard, I was in Disneyland for the first time ever as ever. And I had fun. I had a lot of fun with my family, and I didn't know how amazing that place was. I mean, I listened to a lot of. I watched some docs and stuff like that. Just how how Disneyland is, and the work that goes into it. But yeah, you could watch all those docs. You could do all that. But you have to kind of go there and see it. Gotta go there and see it. I think that's what I'm really impressed about. I'm impressed by like that type of like that type of presentation, and Twigs. I didn't talk to him about it before, and he's saying like artistically, the level of detail. There was another guy, Chris, that was in my previous stream on Instagram. He said it. The presentation, the level of detail, it's very well artistically thought out. It's very well thought out, and that's what I'm really inspired by with the system at Disneyland, um, and understanding cost and what goes behind something like that, and uh, what it takes to to design something like that, right? And do this every day, and the dancers and the food and all this other stuff, and it's a lot of work. And but guess what? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about, and this is what I really, as long as that studio, excuse me, Disneyland has been out, as long as it's been out, and this is something that I noticed, and it's the neighborhood that's around there. Those are people that have been living there for a long time and they work there. You know, that's maybe it's 100 years. It's two generations. It's two generations, yo. It's two generations. And whenever they started building that place, whoever lived there around that area, and I'm talking like it could be like a 5 to 10 mile radius. Disneyland is feeding people. It's an ecosystem that's out there. And I like that. Say what people want to say what they want to say, but guess what? They've been feeding people. And I always see these like think pieces and people make these observations. I have to ask this question. Why do people want Disneyland to fail? Because if Disney fails, it means the ecosystem that Disney has made, they want that to fail. And those people, whoever they are, that always attacks Disney, you know, the company Disney, what do you want? What happens to those people that have been living around there for the last 100 years? Maybe let's say, I don't know when Disneyland was started being built, but if you go around that's another thing, man. They've been feeding, Disney's been feeding people. You know, people might complain and do this and do that, but what are you? What's your answer for Disney? What are you gonna create? That's gonna if Disney fails, what are you gonna create that's gonna be in place to help feed those people that 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 are that are that make a living from that ecosystem? Because it's easy to complain, it's easy to say, point the finger and say this and that, but what are you gonna do? You know, what are you gonna do to bring to the table to help when that ecosystem is dismantled by your complaining and pointing the finger? Because I don't see anybody with an answer. My whole life, everybody's been talking crap about Disney and whatever, right? But okay, but what's the answer? What do you have? That's what I was thinking, man. I was like, yo, but yeah. It came from this, but but all right, but what do you have to bring to the table? If the ecosystem of Disneyland and Disney World fails because people are ultra self-righteous and don't want to support Disney no more, then what about those people that live in those communities around Disney and Disneyland and Disney World? Because there's whole communities around there. There's whole people that it's not, even if they don't work at Disneyland or Disney World, guess what? There are businesses that have been built around that, hotels, restaurants. What do you do? What do you have to fill that void of Disneyland and Disney World? And if you ain't got no answer to that, shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Because that's the question I've always asked. Well, what do you have to fill that void that's been built for the last 100 years? Oh, you ain't got no answer? All right, shut up then. Shut up. Shut up. Yeah, you're self-righteous. You're right. You're on the righteous path, but do you have the answer? Because Disney employs 35,388 people. Okay, that's just one place. Do you have a business that's gonna to help those numbers? And if you ain't got that business to help those numbers, shut up. What's the idea? Tell me, what's the idea? What's the idea? What does anybody, if you hate Disney, don't want to ever support Disney, that's cool, right? If you feel like Disney needs to be dismantled, all right, all right. But what do you have in place for Disneyland? How do you fill that void? That's all I'm saying. Because after seeing Disneyland seeing Disneyland firsthand and seeing and driving around and like, yo, how do I get out of this Disneyland ecosystem? Because that's what it was. That's what I was in. You know what I mean? Even the Target, when you walk into the Target, they had Disneyland apparel because they know people that they know that they're not far from the hotels. They're half a mile from the hotels. And those hotels are like down the block from Disneyland. What do people have? What do you see that? You know, it's easy to put the finger and say, yo, this is wrong, this is wrong. And I learned that firsthand. But how do you know? And I've learned from that. You can't be, if you're going to complain, you have to also have an answer. You know what I mean? If you're going to complain, you also have to, do you have the answer to your complaint? And if you don't, shut up. That's all I'm saying. Wildness, man. But yeah, that's how Disneyland was. Disneyland was crazy, man. This is different. What about people gonna send you their drawings and you maybe discuss those about the good, the bad about those, and how do you do better? All right. You know what? If send me a design right now on Instagram. In the next hour, I'll break it down. But if you're in my YouTube right now, for that to happen, it's a $100 donation. Yeah, so it's on here we go on YouTube. So it's Andre. You email me it too. So Andre Malcolm Tattoo. There's a cost. Time is money. At gmail.com. Send me a design right now and cash at me. Not even cash app, but there's hit that chat that super chat. It's $100 and I'll break down the whole drawing. I break down the whole drawing right now. That's it. Cash at me $100 or PayPal or whatever. All my info is in my all my info is in my is in the info. All my contacts, any which way you want to pay me, is in my info on my YouTube, on my Instagram. It's not that hard. Andremalcolmtattoo@gmail.com. Right? You could email me the picture and you could cash at me, you could PayPal me, you could do whatever. You could send me Bitcoin, send me $100 in Satoshis. And I'll do a breakdown. Not that hard, man. Look, I drew this in 2 hours. I mean, it would have been a lot faster, but I was talking. But I could have drawn this in an hour. But yeah, you want me to or you could Discord, a Discord donation. You subscribe for like what's that? 5 times 20 20 months. Subscribe for 20 months. That's $100. Right now you could cash at me. You could do whatever, and I'll do a breakdown. I'll do a break. I even call up my man Henry, and we'll do whatever. That's how it works. Like it's not that hard. $100, because like I said, I learned at Disney, it's cost. It costs. Time is money. All right, let's do another drawing. Try to find a good size. You know what? Let's turn this into Flash. Mm. Send you on your merch email. You gonna send it to me on my merch email to PayPal? On Wait, you sent me a payment already? Did you send me a payment? Wait, let me see what you sent me. Hold up. What's your name on Instagram? Oh, you guys send me a payment. If you sent me the picture, that's cool. But Procreate file. What's your name on Instagram? Boris, right? Oh, the snake. All right, so send me. What I'll do is I'll redraw the snake for you, and I'll show you what will work. But there has to be a payment. Yeah, I see it. Is it? Let me see if I can send it to myself. I'm sending it to myself right now. Watch this. I can show you what works and what doesn't work. All right, here we go. There you go. You did that, right? All right. Oh shit. Oh, got it. So you want me to critique this? $100. Send me if you have PayPal. Bro. You want me to critique this? I'll critique it right now. I'll break it down right now, fam. I'll show you the do's and don'ts. How do we make this a better snake? You want me how to make this a better snake, right? Send me the $100 right now, and I'll do a whole breakdown. I'll even start a whole new stream because no, I could do this for like 5 hours. But yeah, let's do that. I got 40. I got 40. Look. See that? See the battery power right there? I got 47%. I could knock out that drawing. I could redraw the whole thing for you, and it will only cost me 30%. So you know what I'm saying? $100 right now. But will not spend $100 even if I get your point. All right, bet. You ain't gotta spend nothing. You ain't get nothing. Let's see how it works. Bruh. $100, that's knowledge for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? It helps you as a it helps you as an artist. $100 ain't nothing to a drip of lifetime of tattooing. See what I'm saying? That's all I can tell you, bro. How much is knowledge worth? Trust me, I had to spend a lot of money. I spent a lot of money on books. A lot of them books ain't even there. And in this day and age, it's hard to even learn more from you. I mean, you could learn from YouTube. That's on YouTube ain't drawing like me. They not. Sorry. All right. It's not even sounding cocky. I'm just saying. I, I pay attention to the people drawing on here, and they do more talking than they actually do drawing. I did this in flat. You know what I mean? Peace be with you. All right. Let's get back to the. I said, man, time is money, B. Like, time is money, B. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it is. Shit. All right. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? Oh, sweet. I got my old phone to work. I got my own phone to work. Let me see what pictures are on here. Holy smokes. Wait. Yo, I was charging this phone, everybody, and it got pictures on it that go back. Oh, okay. This goes back. Let's go back. I got it to work. I got my old phone to open up. And hold on. Is this guy apprenticing too? You apprenticing? You want me to critique your drawing, but you're also being an apprentice? Wait, is he being apprenticed too? Gabriel Mendez, what's going on, man? How you doing, bro? All right, let's do some. Let's get into some shenanigans. You know what? That's funny. I would, if I were you, you know what? Send your drawing, send that same drawing to any tattooer, right? Send this shit to anybody that does the work that you want to do and see if they give you the time of day. You'll learn, bro. You'll learn. You'll learn. You'll learn, my G. You'll learn. I told dudes in a live I did a while ago, like how I learned how to do this. I spied on a lot of tattooers. You know, when I was living in New York, how I learned was I spied. You know, you kind of have to be you have to be in the shadows for a very long time. You have to play the shadows. You get what I'm saying, folks? You get what I'm saying? So I played the shadows. And it was easy for me back then because there was no black tattooers like that in New York. You know what I'm saying? So they probably just looked at me like, maybe he trying to learn, but niggas don't tattoo. That's what I was told. Niggas don't tattoo. That's New York in like late 90s, early 2000s in New York City. Niggas don't tattoo. So that's what I heard. You know what I mean? And if motherfuckers want to tell you different, yeah. Um, but yeah, you know. So, like how I learned, I was in the shadows and I watched from a distance. You know, I had my binoculars on. You know what I'm saying? I was on rooftops with the binoculars, looking into the windows and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I paid a girl, yo, go get this tattoo real quick and take as many pictures as possible. Record this with your camera. You know, that's the one. That's the one. That's the one thing I know. That's the one thing I know about New York. And out of the scene, me know works at shops. Manager lots of years ago. Oh, you were a manager a lot of. I'm not of this scene at all. Just enjoying artists and works. Okay, so why were you asking me to critique a drawing? Well, it seems like you just want to learn how to tattoo. That's what it looked like. I've seen people say I don't want to learn how to tattoo, but then like they draw stuff all the time, and then like one day they're tattooing. So that's what I'm curious about. I call that the okey doke. Oh no, I don't want to tattoo. I just want to I just draw this stuff. Then they got like a secret Instagram page with like all their drawings and stuff. Well, my personal favorite ones were the let me not say that. One thing I know is let me not say that part. One thing I know is I used to tell that girl, "Yo, just go to the tattoo shop real quick and see what he got there. See what he using." Oh man, do tattooers love big booty Puerto Rican girls? Shit. Yo, let me stop, man. That was back in the day, though. That was back in New York, man. That's it might not be like that no more. Yo, mm. I totally forgot this Instagram was on. Whew. What y'all heard me saying, yo? I just felt like drawing this little lizard, man. This little gecko. Yo, what was that old school? What was that old school gecko game? Sega Gecko. What was that gecko? Oh, what was that video game? Something gecko. Gex. There you go. Oh man. Brandon with the alley oop. That game was fire. Brandon, how you been, man? It was good meeting you, dude. They need to bring that game back. Bring his head out a little bit more. Shrink it down a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Investments are a little bit like radio. Oh, sorry, your live stream is a little bit. It's not predictable what you're talking about next. Yeah, no, it's all. Not really. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not trying to do predictable streams. You know, this the stream is really about. This stream is really about. The stream is really about. Just. I'm really inspired by like what I saw at Disneyland. You know, and out in Anaheim, I was artistically that place is just a smorgasbord of visual delight, you know, like visually it was just like my adult guard was dropped. And look, let me tell you something, man. That place is it's meant for kids, but it's meant for adults too. Like they're like, oh, how do we get adults? We're gonna have them spend their money, but it's gonna be done in a sexy way. It's a little like a show. Yeah, that's what I want to do. So look. I'm drawing. So it's not just me talking. What's he talking about now? So a lot is lifted off of me. Now I'm just gonna be. It's kind of like Bob Ross. I'm not saying I'm the best as Bob Ross, but I'm gonna just draw. I'm gonna draw and talk. You can stay if you want. You can leave if you want. Whatever. I'm not holding you here. There ain't no gun to your head. You know. But my experience this past weekend was at Disney World, and I was thoroughly impressed. Thoroughly impressed. I think the only thing is there's some people that don't belong there, man. Like, there's like some people that just want to start the bull. Like you're with your kids and you want to start trouble. That's what I don't like. I think that was the thing. Like like look, I'm an immigrant. So I could easily say this. If you're fresh off the boat from any country, yo, lighten up. Yo, lighten up. Lighten up. If you fresh off the boat and you from any country outside of America, look, I'm from a place. If you ain't got paved roads, you know what I'm saying? If you got a veranda with bars on the windows and bars, if you have a veranda, right, and there's a bars before your doorway, if you have concrete gates with bars on top of the concrete with spikes on top, you know what I'm saying? If you from a place where you don't let your dog inside, right? Dogs are not allowed in the house. If you're from a place where if you got running, if the lights go out and then it means that the water's gonna turn off. You know what I'm saying? If you from a place where they pack 15 people in a 5-car in a 5-seater, if you're from a place where it's an overpacked train, if you're from a place where like you don't wear deodorant all the time, like look, I can say that I'm Jamaican, right? Yo, lighten up, spend some money, put back into the system where you live in. You know what I'm saying? I've been living in America long enough where I can spot a person fresh off the boat. You feel me? Shit. Yo, lighten up. Yo, spend money. It's okay. The money gonna come back to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm from that. I'm Jamaican. I was born there. I was born in Jamaica, Spanish Town, Jamaica. Yo, lighten up. You know what I'm saying? Lighten up. You in America now. Your money gonna come back. Lighten up. Yo, I'm watching people fresh off the boat in Disneyland and their kids is having fun. Their grandkids is having fun and they just standing there with their arms crossed, waiting for something bad to happen. Shit. Yo, lighten up, yo. Like nothing bad gonna happen. They standing there with their arms crossed, fresh off the boat, man. Only been here 15 years. Yo, it's all right. They ain't got, I know it. Yo, look, we ain't got nothing like that in Jamaica. We ain't got nothing like that in Jamaica, man. We ain't got nothing like that in Jamaica. So, and I know you ain't got nothing like that in India or something. You know, you ain't got nothing like that in Uganda or Nigeria or, you know what I'm saying? So you just standing there with your, you know what I'm saying? You just standing there with your arms crossed. Everybody I seen out there fresh off the boat, just standing there, looking there, sad, like, yo, I didn't have this growing up. Hey, yo, it's okay, man. It's for your grandkids. It ain't for you. It ain't for you. It's for your grandkids. You know what I'm saying? It's for your kids. It's for your it ain't for you. You grew up in hard times. You came here to America. You work your ass off. You saved enough money where y'all living a lot more comfortable than where you live in your developing nation, right? Maybe you broke anyway. You got to do it. You don't. You got to do it anyway. This money you were spending right now, you're supposed to send it to your brother back home, and you can't do it right now. So I get it. Just raise your grandkids to be able to give back to your family. Oh my God, yo. If you fresh out the pen, you know what I'm saying? And you're able to come back into society and shit. It ain't for you, it's for your kids, man. It's for your kids. It's for your kids. The same, you know, maybe it's for you too. Maybe you hear and you like, man, I love Mickey Mouse. All right, you know. Nobody gonna stick and poke you, man. It's okay. You know, go get a therapist, man, so they could talk about this. This is what, you know, this is what needs. Just look at your kids smiling and just take that in and be like, yeah, my kids are smiling, I should be smiling. It's all right. Oh man, that's what, yo, Disneyland is wild funny, man. Oh man, the trauma people gotta go, the trauma people go through in life. I saw that, man. I saw that in Disneyland, man. When you have to spend that money, you got to spend that money, and Disneyland is just cracking your pockets, man. It's cracking your pockets on them t-shirts and them hats and that bubble toy, and you know what I'm saying? It's just cracking your pockets, just keep cracking you, crack, and you gotta come out the pockets, man, just because you know. Yo, you shouldn't have put your kids down in front of the TV so they could watch Disney Channel. Because guess what? Disney Channel, we've been raising your kids from 2 to 5. Now your kids want to go to Disneyland. Oh, and Disneyland know it too. And this has been cracking your pockets the whole time you there. Crack, crack, crack. You buying t-shirts, you buying cotton candy. Oh, you buying chorizos. You buying all type of stuff, man. They got a San Francisco section. Oh man, and it's no, it's in the California. It's Disney California theme park. Oh my god. Your kid want that candy. Crack your pockets. Disneyland just cracking your pockets, baby. Crack your pockets. You gotta spend money. Holy, you don't look at me, man. Don't look at me. I didn't do it to you. I didn't tell you to sit your kids down in front of the TV so they can watch Mickey Mouse or you got that Disney Channel. I didn't tell you to do that. Now you here stuck in the park spending money. That's on you, not me. I didn't do it. Don't look at me with the pissed off face. Don't do it. I didn't tell you to do it. I had to do it. You know, I'm doing the same thing you doing. I'm spending money. I'm spending money just like you. Credit card transactions left and right. Disneyland just cracking your pockets, cracking your pockets. Spend, spend, spend. Oh my god. Ooh, then you know, and guess what? You know what they do? Disneyland got drinks now. They got beers. They got spiked frozen drinks. What bad should happen? They are waiting for. I don't know what that. Wait, huh? What, bro? Boris, where you from? I don't know anything bad is about. Nothing bad gonna happen, man. It's Disneyland. But when you fresh off the boat, you know, look, fresh off the boat, people like to sit there, right, in a group. It's because they're very communal. You know what I'm saying? You know, you could tell Jamaicans. You know, you could tell Jamaicans is sitting right there. You could tell Nigerians is sitting right there. You could tell Southeast Asians is sitting right there. You could tell some Indians was, you know, Southeast Asian, you know, India is sitting right there. You know, you could tell. You could see somebody from South Eastern Europeans is right there. You could tell, right? But every immigrant has a stature about themselves, and they all just watch. They watch. They always think something bad gonna happen. They never want to spend no money. Yo, spend that money. Spend that money, man. Put back into what, you know. I didn't tell you to have your kids raised on Disney. When you put them in front of that TV, that's all they're gonna watch. Yo. Hey, my brother, how are you, man? I'm chilling. Yeah, I'm gonna be there tomorrow. I bet. All right, sounds good. All right, sounds good. All right, later. Oh man, yo, I tell y'all this. Sit your kids down in front of the TV so they can watch Disney all day. You know what I'm saying? And then one day there's a commercial about going to Disneyland, and guess what? Your kids want to go to Disneyland. Oh boy, here we go. Crack your pockets. Yo, crack your pockets, man. Yo, Disneyland, man. Yo, I met a guy. He was like, he goes there every year. He's coming down he drove down 16 hours. I was like, bro, what do you do? He has 2 kids, wife. They just watch. He's like, yeah, I do this every year. I'm like, wow. He know what he in for. But there's some people that don't know what they in for. I didn't know what I was in for. I'll tell you that right now. I didn't know what I was in for. Disney got me, boy. They got me good. But you know, mm, Disneyland, boy, Disneyland. Gotcha. They got it. They got it, man. Disneyland is like it's like the kids version of Disneyland is the kid version of Vegas. Disneyland is the kid version of Vegas. I like that. All right, here we go. Mm. Shit was wild, man. Shit was wild, B. Shit was wild. Love it. Way to go, Disneyland. Oh, and shout out to yo, one of my favorite characters, man, is 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 uh is Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. You know, cross arms and waiting for something bad. No, you said they are standing there with, yeah, crossed arms. No, I'm just saying, like, like, America is all capitalism. You know, it's a capitalist state, and so Disney's like the prime example of just like, my thing about Disney is it's Disneyland is Disney, everything that has to do with Disney started out with one creation, Mickey Mouse. I think that's the one thing I took away from, one of the things I took away from it is this all started with one mouse. 100 years later. 100 years later, man. There's Disney World. There's Disneyland. It's all over the world. The Disney Channel, all of this stuff, it's everywhere. It started out with one creation. I think that's the one thing that I love also, is that it's the creative process. It's believing in your creativity and believing in your creation, and it's also the unknown, not knowing what's going to happen. Walt Disney knew this was going to happen. This is the stunt. At the end of the light show, the water light show, is a recording of his voice, and it says, and we're not even done yet. Yo, that's a stunt in itself. Incredible. All right, let's answer some questions. Andre, what was your early life like before tattooing? You know what? Send me $100 and I'll tell you. I'll do a whole live stream about that. I'm gonna break it down from like growing up in Jamaica, being born there, coming here to America, and I'll lead it up to like just before I started tattooing. $100. It's that's a long story in itself. But if you really want to hear it, $100. Send me $100. Where did you start tattooing? I started tattooing in the Bronx. Um, I started tattooing in the Bronx, tough city in the Bronx. And wait, there's a second part to it. And who did I learn from? Oh, all right. So it was the Tough City was a unique studio. Okay. Uh it was a unique studio. It was a graffiti esque. It was half tattoo, half graffiti. And that's what Med wanted to push. And it was the only shop of its kind like that. Now there might have been other shops like that. I think AWR was like that. I don't know if it was fully like that, but AWR, Jason Condell's shop is based on that too. He's a graffiti writer. I'm not gonna say his name. I don't know if he wants to put that out there like that, but on the East Coast, it was Tough City, and and I never will understand people who always regret to spend some money. Hey, whatever, man. I don't know. And so Tough City was built off of that um reputation, and and I I was lucky enough to get in there around 97, 98. I wasn't really tattooing yet. I was walking up the street in Fordham Road in the Bronx, and I saw I saw Sess, Yes to, and Med doing. You know what? I'm gonna look it up right now. Hold up. I'm gonna look it up right now. This is the mural. This is, I think, the. Let me see if I can find it. It was. This is like 98. Oh man, wait. Tough City Tattoos. This is not Fordham Road. Tough City Tattoos, 1998. Damn. I thought I could just narrow down the search. Oh, fuck. Oh, man. But it was a mural on Fordham Road. Tough City Tattoos. Um, See, it wasn't this shop. This is the shop later on. I had already left Tough City, but um, it's not here, man. What? Damn. I gotta find it. I gotta find it. I don't have it on that one. And and uh and one day I was walking up Fordham Road. I was hanging out with my boy Angel Rate's place, and I had already dropped out of high school at the time. So I was really trying to figure out how I was always sending in my portfolio to Marvel because I wanted to work for Marvel. I wanted to work for Marvel. And I also wanted to work for Image. But I feel like Image was like you had to just be really good, you know? You had to be really good. And um but I felt like if I got my foot in the door with Marvel, Image would have taken notice of me at some time sooner or later. Never happened. And so one day I was walking up Fordham Road and I saw them painting. And I was, like I was like, yo, that's who I was like, oh shit, that's Sess and Yes. And that, oh shit, that's Med. And I had my luckily, when I was leaving my boy Sess's spot, I was like, let me grab my black book because you never know. You might bump into some writers and they're gonna like look at your work and I was also looking for work too. I was like, um maybe I can I can I had an artist gig on Fordham, it was like that's the place where you could always find work. Um you can see where I put myself. I didn't even have a plan after I dropped out of high school. I just said I'm gonna be an artist somehow, some way. And I didn't even understand the complexity of the art world where it's like who like that's the thing about the art world is who because you could be a great artist all there was no internet. There's no internet like that. There's no internet. There's no way where you can showcase your artwork. All these apps that you have right now weren't there. So I just said, all right, I'm gonna drop out of high school, I'm gonna figure it out. So naive, I was like, oh yeah, I'm a big fan of Brad Pitt. He dropped out of high school. I'm a big fan of Lawrence Fishburne. He dropped. Yeah, all these people dropped out of high school. I'm gonna do it too. And I thought it would work for me. Like I was like, I'll just go down to Manhattan and do some odd jobs and see if I can get a spot at the at an art museum and work my way up and just see how that is and you know luckily my mom had a friend at the New York Stock Exchange, but I wasn't working there yet. I was still at Tough City and not even at Tough City, but I started hanging out there after I gave yes to my black book, and that was it. And he said, "Yo, come by in like a week and pick it up. I'll do something in for you." And I was like, "Yeah, thank you." I asked him, "Can you do something with my black book?" He was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." I gotta find that. No, you know what? That black book got lost in a fire, man. Fuck. Yeah, and that was it. That was it. And I decided to go back to the Tough City. And I started hanging out there, and it just, one day turned into 2 days hanging out there. Then it turned into like a whole week, and I just started getting to know those guys. And it was hard to, really get to know Yes and Sess at the time because those dudes was just doing a lot of damage, and at that time they were hitting up a lot of shit. I don't know if I ain't gonna put that shit out there like that. They were doing a lot of, they were doing a lot of dope stuff, putting in that work. And um he's missing a leg. Oh really? Look. One, two, three, and back here is the other one. I got it from a photo reference. Maybe I'll put the hey you. I know who you are. Did you get married? It looks like that with reptiles, but Oh, wrong person. There we go. There you go. So yeah, and then um one day Sess was like, "Hey, you should start tattooing. You make a bunch of money, you know." And I was like, "Nah, I don't know, man. I don't." He said, "You could draw. You know, you could be making $500 a week." I've said this before, but I was like, $500, man. That's a lot of fuck. That's a lot of money. And I was like, I'll think about it. You know, I'll think about it. I thought about it for a long time, and then, but I think I already said no. But I just wanted to hang out with, I just wanted to hang out with my dumb dudes, and I just see how they painted, how they drew their pieces. I mean, my pieces weren't as good as Sess or Yes's, man, but I wanted to like get as good as them, and I wanted to go paint with them. You know, it was always like, yo, if a writer took you under their wing, and you learn from them and stuff, and I think I painted with them for a couple of times, and that was basically it. And I helped do a little piece on the wall, and it was just cool, and it was just like that's what I wanted to spend all my time. I didn't know I was really getting myself what I was getting myself into, hanging out at a tattoo shop. And then I think that was it really after that. Like I uh I well, my mom was like, "Hey, you should get a real job." uh you should get a real job. And I was like, Mom, like I'm at this. I didn't tell her I was working at a tattoo shop because my mom's a Jehovah's Witness, so I couldn't tell her what I was doing during the daytime. Jehovah's Witness is anything that's not Jehovah's Witness, anything that's not related to Jehovah's Witness is considered like devil worshiping, you know? Um, I even remember, like, I'm not even gonna tell this story, but yeah. I'm not gonna give everything away at once. His $100 today. Yeah, send me dude. Send me $100. I draw this up right for you, right there. I'll critique it. I critique it, but if ain't no money, ain't no. That's my time. It's only right, you know. Um, and then and then I just what happened? I started working at the stock exchange, and that's it. Started working at the stock exchange. I started learning about financing. I had did my first tattoo just before I started working at the stock exchange, and that was it. Who are your favorite tattooers right now? Oh, there's a lot, man. That's a loaded question. That's a loaded question. You know what? I'm gonna make a list and say that tomorrow when I make my next post tomorrow. I'll do the next post tomorrow. Um, it's a loaded question. It's a lot. There's a lot of. There's a lot of tattooers, man. Real loaded question. If I'm making these questions up, no. People ask me these questions all the time. So on my Instagram, there's a thing where you could just ask questions. Looks like he's dancing on top of that flower like a cat dancing on a geisha's head. Yeah, kinda. You know, it's my flash sheet series. Ooh, you want to see a sneak peek of the T-shirt coming out? No, I can't show it. I can't show it yet. Maybe. Drawing is hard. Drawing is so hard. What was the last one? What was the last question? See this email. What was it? What was your early life like before tattooing? Oh yeah, that's right. I said you want to know my early life, and I'll tell you from from living with my family in Jamaica, then my mom out here, and then my meeting my dad for the first time. It's gonna have you laughing your ass off. But that's $100 question, man. Send me that, and $100. Be good. Didn't know that you bring a t-shirt. Yeah, I did a t-shirt, man. I just did a new one. I designed one for the East Bay Rats. I mean, not East Bay Dragons. Oops. It's that one. Look at that, B. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know what? I could just show you right here. I did a bunch of designs, B. Check this out. Peep, peep it. Yo. Look. Don't go stealing this one, folks. Don't go copying this. I did this one first. This was the first design. I'll show you the first. All right. I'll show you the first one. It was this one first with the wild flames behind it. You know? The first one. Then I did this one. I opened the eyes. I think it was first this one. It was this one first. It was this one first. And then it was something with the eyes. And it was this one. And then then it was these eyes. Then you want the red and the flame, so I changed the flame. And you can see I was changing it. They wanted the horns shorter. It's like weird, man. So it was like these 3 different designs. And then I was like, how about this one? Then I took the red out the eyes and I kept the horns. So I made the eyes look crazy. I really like these eyes. I don't know, man. What is it about these eyes that look crazy? That looks crazy, right? That looks crazy, right? Then I took the pupils out, kept the flames. I did the all black eyes. Then I went with these eyes back, mixture. Then it was just like this. This was it. I shortened the horns. It was like, shorten the horns. Right, so I shortened them. I shortened them even before that, because if you look at the horns here, that was a little reference. You can see these horns are coming all the way out. I like big buck-like horns. My guy just bought 2 t-shirts. You did? MBK was good. You at the Dragons right now? Yo, I'm about to Yo, I need a shirt. Should I roll up right now? Should I roll up right now? So I shortened the horns. I like these green ones. I never did green horns before, yo. And then I shortened the horns and they want them shorter. And I was like, nah, man. But you know, it came out right. It came out cool. And I did these horns. I did these like flat kind of like ibex horns when they're growing back. All right, I'm roll up. I'm gonna roll up. Let me end this stream real quick at 3 hours. I'm gonna roll up right now. I should be there. Like it's not that far from my crib, so I should be there in like 20 minutes. And I didn't know. See the thing. My bad, yo. My bad. I wish I did the flames. I would have outlined the flames different because the red goes with the red T-shirt. But it came out cool. You know. I'm proud of this. I never did letters like this before. The East Bay Dragons 2023 shit is fire. You know the red. I mean the green hairline, the hair, wispy hair. I like that. But yeah, t-shirt designs, kids. Draw every day, yo. If you're an artist, man, draw. Here's a Bitcoin logo for Ledger. Never got to use that. Another Ledger design. The Gray's Claw. Yeah, I'm about to come through. I'm about to cop a t-shirt, man. I'll be there in a minute. All right, folks. Be good, be great. Thank you for watching this stream. Tomorrow will be great. We're gonna do some more tat drawing. Got a tattoo tomorrow. So yeah. Yeah. Thank you, folks. Thank you for whoever came through. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you tomorrow on this stream. Be good, be great. Fade to black.